Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. Hello, class. What day is it today? Today is Saturday. Saturday, January 7th. Whoa, did I just get faded out? The camera's not paying attention. Welcome on in, everyone. It's good to see you all. I hope everyone has had a restful evening or whatever time of day it is. It is the best time of the day. It's when class begins. You're here early. I appreciate that. Shout out to all those sitting in the chat right now, waiting with their little notepads. Who's got their pencils? Who's got their paper? Okay, who uses pencil and paper? Forget that. Who's got their app notes, their iPhone note app out? All right. Come on in, everybody. We'll wait a little bit until, the class gets settled. That's usually what the teachers do, right? I always thought that, teachers told you that they did that because they were trying to be considerate to, people being late to class. But I actually just think they wanted to chill, I think the teacher just wanted to chill for, the first 5 minutes. They're like, you know what? I'm not ready. It's not the class. Oh, did I miss some gifties? Oh, shit. Coming in hot. Thank you, Domination, for the 5 gifted Menchie Gang memberships. Menchie Gang. Because of you, 5 of you lucky gifted members will get to join the exclusive Menchie Gang stream. That's an extra stream I do once a month, just as a bonus to chill with those who choose to support the stream. Appreciate that. So yeah, a few shout outs first, a few order of business before class begins. First, we say hi to Menchie. Hi, Menchie. Menchie, look at all the gifties. Thanks for joining the Menchie Gang. Yeah, she knew. She was like, it's class time. I gotta be in position. If you have not met her, just in case, if you don't live on the internet, this is my teacher's assistant. She's the teacher's pet, Menchie, and she's feeling ravenous today. She's like, bed, lick, data, lick, get it, let's go. She loves the bed as much as this chat loves data. Yep. All right, so good morning to Menchie. Menchie says good morning. Also, big shout out to the mods on stream. We have some stream mods here who keep the chat a wonderful place and can help you with chat-related things like how to become a member. But just as a friendly reminder, my moderators are not Holo Taco customer service representatives, nor am I acting as a customer service agent today. So if you have any questions about your Holo Taco order or whatnot, please direct it to Holo Taco customer service. Yeah. Oh, is my mic too hot? Okay, I'd turn it down. Actually, let me just turn on the bot who says that. That would be helpful today. What do we think? Yes, Holo Taco support. Let's turn that on. If the bot is working. Is our bot working? We'll find out. So yeah, shout out to the mods, shout out to the members. Ben is also modding, of course. He'll probably be pinning some stuff. And this stream is also sponsored by Shopify, so shout out to them. Thanks for that, and more on that later. Thanks, Leaf Green Cat. 10 months. Let's go. I love data. You look good. Thank you. Thank you. I thought I looked tired, but that's the look. When you're a data nerd, you're like, I look tired. I look good. Can't wait to see this year's data. Yes, me too. I'm excited to show it to you. I've been mulling it. I've been pulling it. I have Simply class today and college classes on Monday. I'm a bad college student. I still haven't bought my books. It's time to get your books. But yeah, this is you guys coming to class on the weekend. So I really do appreciate it. I do. I understand that some of you are in real school and then you got to come to Simply school on the weekend. So just a big shout out to everyone who's doing that. But we love the data and that's why we're here, right? Thank you, Sarah. Woohoo, made it to class. Went to sleep early for this. Couldn't miss the stats. Yep. Can't deny. We all love it. 13 months. Woo. Looking forward to data while I paint blacklisted on my nails. We love our mods. We do. Couldn't sleep last night. I'm so excited to see the data. Me neither. What is wrong with us? Okay, only good things. You're going to grab your tea? Okay, yes. Everyone, first order of business. Relax, grab your tea. Thank you, Roxanne and Amy, for the gifted memberships. Oh my God, guys, thank you. It's the start of class. It's already chaotic. Menchie gang, Menchie gang, Menchie gang, Menchie gang times 15. Thank you so much. That is so generous. Also, hot tip for those who aren't members, in order to get gifted, you actually have to opt in. There should be like a thing that pops up on your live chat that says, do you agree to hypothetically get gifted? You have to opt in on YouTube. That's how it works. Thank you, Abstru. The semester starts for me on Monday, so I'm getting an early start. Yeah. Did you guys do your homework? Yay for all the data. Okay, so homework would have been, let's go over this. I said sip tea and I didn't even sip tea yet. Will there be a test? The test is, what are you gonna paint your nails with next? Is it a bestseller? Is it a low slept on seller? We'll see. You know, that's the test. How do you make your choices? How do your choices in nail polish compare to everyone's, to the aggregate? How does the individual compare to the aggregate? Is it the sum or the parts? Or whatever. I love behind the scenes. You painting on cheap champagne. So homework would have been, if you're a very avid data nerd, simply not logical, Holo Taco fiend, thank you, Gleeful, then you would have done homework by watching last year's version of this stream, which was the 2021 Holo Taco sales report. So there's a whole 3-hour stream on that, and there was a highlight posted as well that would have been like a 20-minute cut down, so it's like the Coles notes. So that would have been your homework to kind of get freshed up on, refreshed. Why does this camera keep doing this? Ben, did we just like change the settings of the camera? It keeps like going in and out. I'm right here. What the fuck? Okay. Your homework's complete? Good, yes. So you don't have to do your homework, but it would be really helpful for you to have the background context of what shades were in the bottom 10 last year or the top 10, and how does that relate to this year? Like, are you noticing like they're here again? And we'll do some review just in case you missed it, but I do think it's helpful to have that background context coming into this. You saw the highlight? Good. So go ahead and let's do a quick poll. I'm going to do a quick poll of who is new here. Thank you, Kim. Let's start off with some data. Okay, how about, no, the first one. Did you do your homework? Yo, this is an anonymous poll. Yes, I watched 2021 report, or oops, no, I forgot my cat ate my PC. There you go. Be honest. Be honest, it's anonymous. Only Susan knows. First time, I love your nail polish for my little gay fingers. Our nail polish loves you too. Does the highlight count? Yeah, the highlight counts. You didn't know you had homework. It says it in the video description box of the stream. Someone didn't do their reading. Someone didn't look at the curriculum. You truly sound like a college professor. Thank you. I guess that's a thank you. I don't know. Yo, I miss school. What's wrong with me? Susan! There should have been a third option to stratify who's only watched the highlight versus entire vote. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna blame Susan for the simplicity of polls here. Whether you watched it last year or this year, it's fine. You know, you can still say yes, you've seen it at some point. Do you remember? It's another question. But, you know, let's not overcomplicate the data. I'll do that later. Good morning, Simply. Just watch from the toilet after my coffee. I mean, tea. Thank you. This is information we definitely needed in the chat. Thank you for sharing with the class. I'm gonna fail out of Holo University. No, no one fails. No one fails. You're all getting A's. Also have to do a vertical gradient with the Dark Rainbow collection during the data presentation. Love that nail painting is encouraged in class. No, nail painting is required, actually. You get bonus points. 1 year in the Menchie gang, woo! Holo University is the best university, yep. I did homework, but I hope I won't fall asleep in class since it's past midnight. Yeah. Luckily for you, this class will be available on VOD, video on demand. So whether you're watching now or you want to pick up the rest later or you're going to start watching later, shout out to the VOD squad. All I care is that you've attended class, that you've completed your coursework.
Good morning, Simply. Just watching from the toilet after my coffee, I mean tea.
Currently writing a research paper while watching. We love that. Okay, let's take a look at the poll results. We've got 16. Look, it's like it's more than an Ipsos Read survey. It's amazing. Did you do your homework? Yes, I watched 2021 report. 54%. Oh shit, it's close. Yo, just a little bit more than half of you did your homework and the other half forgot, or your cat ate your PC. You know, that's okay. I will give a little bit of an abbreviation as we go through it, but you'll have to wait until the end to get that comparison piece. Painting your nails with magnetics. Woo! Yes, say you're sore. It's okay. You can. There will be a makeup after class. You all have to stay after class now. All right, so go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if this is the first stream that you've been to in a long time. So if you haven't been to a stream on my channel in a long time, just go ahead and put a 1. Sorry, I'm gonna call on you to ask questions. That's why. Be like, okay. All right, Ashul. All right, Ang, Olivia, Jamie, Chloe. What? Can you tell me what the first Polish Holo Taco ever released was? This is a test. I'm calling on the newbies. Can you tell me how many times Menchie has licked her bed so far? One coat black. Well, yeah, technically there was 5 released at the same time, so that was a trick question, but that's good. I give you points for that one. Hey, girl. Hey, Mench. All right, okay. I think we're gonna begin now. As long as everyone has their tea, everyone's chilling. We're excited for the data. Do you guys have any predictions? I'm seeing predictions already. Okay, why don't we do that? Go ahead, put your predictions in the chat. Let's do that first. What do you guys think is going to be the best sellers or the worst sellers? Let's go ahead. Just, you know, feel it out. Give the predictions for the book ending. I love that. Okay, we've got browns, 1 coat black, party 1 purple on top, a lot of 1 coat black, some cremes. Okay, okay. All right. Dark rainbow. Best dark rainbow, 1 coat black. I know I asked best and worst at the same time, but I feel like I can identify which one is more likely to be the best and the worst. Orange is at the bottom, yellow at the bottom. Favorite sister on top, tea cremes. Okay, these are all good guesses. I feel like a lot of you have been paying attention to me. These seem like informed guesses. Is chat informed? The chat is informed? Yo, what? I am shocked. Yo, these are some good guesses, guys. All right. Okay, let's get into it. Let me bring back a little Mench just because she's so cute. Actually, I'm gonna put her over here. I'm gonna put her with you. All right, everybody, welcome to the annual Holo Taco 2022 Polish Sales Report. We're going over the best-selling shades and the most slept-on shades. We'll use language other than worst, even though I wrote it. So I prepared this deck for you guys today because I would like to share data. We love data. I love data. I was born in the data. I live in the data. Let's fucking go. Data. Can I get a data in the chat? Menchie, say a data for me. Let's go. Yo, other streamers be like, drama, let's go. Simply be like, data. Give me the data. Let's fucking go. Woo. Datas and NDAs. Yo, this is the best chat ever. We've got datas and NDAs in the chat. All right. The first things first, let's cover our research questions. So while I know you all have 18 million questions, I would like to hone in. We got to zone in a little bit, and we got to ask some very specific pointed questions. So these are the ones that I had just for the purposes of this stream presentation, which might be different than like questions I ask behind the scenes, etc. But for stream purposes, I would like to know, in order to show you, what were the most popular Holo Taco polishes in 2022, whether they were released in 2022 or not. Just like, what was most popular, and what were the least popular Holo Taco polishes in 2022. And then from those two pointed questions, I also want to know, be able to glean some information after that. What are some of the key takeaways we can use from this to help inform future Holo Taco polish releases or decisions? We've got color preferences that we can glean from this. We've got formula preferences. We've got some bundle options or offering some ideas that can inspire us. And we've got some phasing out shades. So towards the end of the stream, I will be sharing which shades we will be saying goodbye to this year. We will be phasing them out as of whenever I announce them. But yeah, that is going to happen later on. But let's move on to methodology. Okay, your least favorite slide. Let me explain. There's a lot on the screen. And you can skip ahead probably like 5 minutes if you don't want to. If you're watching on VOD and you're like, I don't care about the method, I only care about the results. I would not be able to relate to you though, because I love all the methods. I want to know why we did the method we did and what are some of the other options. And I would like to over-explain myself. So too bad you're here now. If you're live, you have to listen to it, okay? We must know the method. That's right. Okay, any good research data scientist knows. All right, there's a few ways to do this, okay? Is it hollows to hollows or is it hollows to iridescent? There's a few ways to analyze what are the best sellers. I acknowledge there's more than these 3 that I'm sharing with you now, but like, let's not overcomplicate it. I'm already doing that enough, okay? There's the raw number of polishes sold in a year. So for example, N, which just represents the number of everything tacos sold between January 1st to when I pulled the data, which was December 22nd, but let's just call that the end of the year. So just the raw number of polishes sold in that year. The output and limitations would be that this method would drive up polishes released earlier in the year because you have the most time that for it to be available. Because like if something launches in January, it's going to have all year, assuming it was in limited edition. So that will drive up those particular polishes, and you have the new factor. So anything that was new during this year is probably going to do better than things released like 2 years ago, just because like new things will sell the most during that time. Limited edition polishes always have a ceiling, so that you can't really do anything about when you are taking into account a whole year, and then you have a limited edition polish that had a max ceiling anyways, and it was only available for a certain specific time. This method doesn't account for out of stock days, but usually we don't have stuff out of stock that much for that long, with some exceptions, but like most of our catalog isn't subject to that. But with this method, you can include polishes released in previous years, which is something that I really would like to do because I want to look at the global offerings of Holo Taco, like of all the things we have offered, not just stuff that was released this year. How is it doing? How is it still selling even maybe 2 years after release? So we can include older polishes in this method. With this method, you end up with these types of shades at the top. I just had to give like a quick example of like what you could get. So you'd end up with things like Everything Taco Lavender, because that was released at the very beginning of January of 2022, and Got Cake, which was re-released as a previously limited edition, but new thing. So we'll get into that in a bit. I'm just giving you like a visual reference for like what types of things you would end up towards the top. Then we've got rolling sales methodology, which is a way of segmenting an equivalent number of days after a specific launch. So you could do, for example, N number of Party One Purples sold in the first 60 days since it launched compared to N number of Left on Reds sold in the first 60 days since it launched. So we're trying to control and take the same time slot after every launch. The problem with this is, like, it would kind of be ridiculous to do this all the way back to 2000 and I was gonna say 9. I'm like, what? How old are we? Till 2019 when Holo Taco launched. So this method would only really be feasible to do for polishes just released in 2022, which isn't really answering my core research question, which is like just what are the most popular Holo Taco polishes, not just of this year. This method also doesn't account for out of stock days. The data is like trickier to do that. And not all polishes released in 2022 have a clean or complete 30 or 60 day track record. So if it was limited edition, then it can range. Maybe it was only available for 2 days. Maybe it was in stock for 4 weeks. I don't know. It changes so much. And if we're only limiting ourselves to 2022 and you have to remove all the limited edition polishes, we're really left with a smaller number of polishes to do this method with. So it almost doesn't speak to the global catalog. Like, we'd be losing a lot of information about other polishes that were sold if we chose this method. This method also drives up recent launches because, you know, typically a business will grow over time. So if you do rolling sales of something released during the holiday and you do like 30 days post-holiday release and you compare it to 30 days post-January release, obviously you're probably going to have better sales in the post-holiday because that's just consumer behavior purchases. And also you hope that over a year you've grown a little bit in sales. So this would basically just show you recent launches, the most popular shades from recent launches. Also, limited edition polishes still have a ceiling, but just so you see what we would get-ish if we use this method. The chat is so quiet because they're listening. Yo, are you guys listening to me? I love it. Okay. If we chose this rolling sales method, which favors more recently released stuff because of sales growth and consumer behavior during the holidays and more later months in the year, then you'd have things like Queen's Curse, which was the bestseller in Magnetics. You'd have Favorite Sister, which we love, which I love that one. I love my favorite sister. And you'd have Lost in the Woods, which was the bestseller of the Dark Rainbow. But those are our 3 most recent launches. So it's really just a product of like going back in time and being like, what was the best? That's what you would get by doing the rolling sales method. I thought this method was like genius, but then I looked at the results and I was like, wait, okay, all it really does is picks the best sellers from like the most recent in that exact order. So it's like backwards in the calendar. Or Ben came up with this and I was like, brilliant. We could have tried the rate of polishes sold per day. So this is the ultimate way to try and control for things here. For example, N number of Left on Reds sold during the, is a fake number, 297 days of stock eligibility in 2022. So for example, if Left on Red was in stock for 297 days, you would take how many sold during that period and you would divide it by the number of days, so you'd get a rate of X. So it's a way of controlling for the time available, so you can kind of compare the rates more easily across all the shades. So this sounds brilliant, and this statistical method is used in so many things like crime rates, hi, yes, hello, and population rates and so on. It does control for out-of-stock periods, and it gives you stronger comparison abilities, but upon trying this method, all it does is it drives up limited edition and seasonal shades way up. Like the rate is like 10, 20x or something like that, ridiculous, because this window of availability is so small, so you end up with a much higher rate. And that makes sense. Like if Double Dare was available for the only like 24 hours or 48 hours, that was like the cap, that's all we had to sell, then that rate is going to be ridiculous, you know, compared to something that was a regular stock item. So this isn't really helpful for an evergreen analysis of all the products that we sell in our catalog, because you just end up with everything that was limited edition or seasonal or very recent. So there was a shorter window. So for example, like the 2 seasonal tacos that were released over 12 days of Christmas was only released like 10 days or something after I pulled this data. So if I'm only dividing it by 10 days of availability, then it's going to be an extremely high rate. So this method, well, I thought it was like, this is going to be a good one. I love controlling for variables. All it did was just pointed out exactly every limited edition polish or the most recently released stuff. So how many minutes was that? That was like 10 minutes. I lied. I said maybe 5 minutes. All this to say that data nerds, we acknowledge there are so many ways to look at this. There's even more ways than this. But it also takes a lot of time. I'm not gonna lie. Even doing this took a lot of time, but I, as a data freak, really wanted to understand the limitations and what was being driven up or down by each method. All of these methodologies exclude polishes sold in collection boxes and bundles, and I would like to explain that methodology before I get onto the results. Yo, data nerds are like, keep going. Everyone else is like, shut up. But what was the top seller? Okay, blunder by bundles is something that I do need to explain, because it was a comment, a piece of feedback from last year's data report, because I had chosen to exclude bundles and polishes sold in collection boxes. While for sales and like internal business reasons, obviously including polishes sold in collection box or just volume of collection boxes sold is very important, it didn't answer the research question I had for this stream and this presentation, which was which polishes are selling the best, which polishes are the most popular. I want to know which colors, which formulas, which specific shades. Someone's coming on the website and they're like, that one. I can't do that if I'm counting all these bundles, because if someone orders the whole rainbow bundle, I think, like, I'm to assume that they want the whole rainbow. They don't necessarily want like lemon sucker. I mean, like, we can never assume, and then that's my point. I don't know what shade they're after. So even if hypothetically I like added all the rainbow sales to all the individual sales of lemon sucker and also all the other shades, if that artificially is driving up lemon sucker, well, that's good to know for business reasons in terms of like, what should we keep in stock, for example. It doesn't really like tell me what colors people actually want, and that's what I want to do for these purposes with sharing you, is what colors do people want, what shades, what formulas, what specific polishes are speaking to them. So to include bundles and boxes really does obscure the actual interest in a specific shade, and it just drives up polishes that exist in a collection box, which is actually another good point. So anything sold in a collection box would just be on top. So for example, like work-life balance bundle, which was sold in a bundle, would be lower because usually collection boxes will drive up sales of that collection. So it introduces like a bias in the data towards just things sold in a box, if I were to include things sold in boxes and bundles. And if I include things sold in bundles, then I've got that bias introduced. All of this to say, I'm trying to remove that bias, exclude polishes sold in bundles and boxes, and only look at individual sales. So if a customer came on the website and picked this individual polish and this one, it would be counted. If they purchased the rainbow bundle, it would not be counted. Okay, so what did I go with? 10 minutes later, what did I choose? I have chosen methodology that is the same as we did last year, also because repetition is great for consistency for data reasons, but also in exploring all the other methodologies, I found that the limitations didn't outweigh the benefits of trying that new method. So ultimately I went with the first one, which is just our unit of analysis is very simple. It's the number of bottles per shade sold in 2022. So that would include polishes released prior to this year, and those released in this year, because that's what I would like to have, everything kind of included. But we still need to acknowledge the limitations, always important. I already explained them, but I'll do it again. So that the polishes released earlier in the year in January will have an advantage because they'd been around all year, and also just needing to footnote that all limited edition polishes had a ceiling, but some of them might still make it. You know, that doesn't preclude them from making it to the top sellers, but just knowing that they had a ceiling is important. This excludes sales of collection sets and bundles, and it excludes all nail essentials, base, and top coats. We're only talking about the colors, like specific polishes that have a color to them. Limited edition polishes have a ceiling, I just said that, and out of stock periods will impact sales. There's nothing that significant to note, but if there was anything to note, I did put it on the specific slide. I also, in doing all these methods behind the scenes, I also have a slide in here after the top sellers using this method that's Simply's kind of interpretation using all the information that I gathered. I decided to throw something in that, like, if I were to, in my mind, merge together the methods, what do I think should belong at the top given all the limitations? So I'm gonna throw that in as well, which is a little bit more of a mixed methods, quant and qual. We love that, mixed methods. Okay, sociologists, researchers in the chat, you're like, yes, mixed methods. Okay. We're gonna do that too, but first I'm presenting to you just the first method that we discussed here, which is just the raw number sold in 2022 individuals, okay? Woo, did we get that? Should I take a sip of tea? Who needs tea? We are not including polishes picked up with rewards points. This is just pure sales. You're actually learning stuff? Who's learning things? I would love to know. Yeah. Occasionally I see a comment from someone saying like, I actually learned the difference between median and average today. Thank you for that. And I'm like, really? Thank you. That's great. Tea is currently steeping. Let's go. You feel like you're in a shareholders meeting? I mean, like, kind of. You're all, I mean, not all of you, but a lot of you are consumers of Holo Taco. You've made an investment in Holo Taco. It's probably sitting on your display rack right now, right? So this is the shareholder meeting. There's so many people here, yeah. One other thing, speaking of people here, I also would like to acknowledge that while I know that the majority of you are, you know, you love Holo Taco or you're Simply fans or one or the other, there's probably some people in here who see themselves as competitors of Holo Taco and are literally just here just to get information so that they can use it for their marketing or planning purposes. I am cognizant of that. I am also choosing to present things in a way using a method that I think is most most immune, if I had to say that to someone else doing that. But I also understand that, like, by sharing so much information publicly about Holo Taco, I realize that, like, other companies can use that to their advantage. This is why no one does this. This is why no one does this, okay? Do you understand that I am not listening to best practices and best advice? Essie's in the chat. No, Sally, get out. Do you understand, guys, that I'm such a data freak and I over-explain and say so much that I'm literally not listening to what all brands, all like CEOs, marketers, everyone in the industry would tell their anyone in their company to do? I'm not listening, okay? Yeah. Sally's watching. Sally, I'm watching you. No, Sally, no. So yeah, you know, while there's gonna be 800 million more questions from this stream, I'm probably like not telling you any more than I already am because I'm already telling you enough. And I hope that you appreciate what I am choosing to tell you, despite the fact that other companies will probably use it against me. But you know what? Like, you got one life to live and I'm gonna play with data, okay? What if it's like a plot twist and I'm just lying? What if I just say, all my top sellers are yellow? Hey, Sally, you should really write this down. Sabotage. Yo, sabotage. Okay. I need music. Hold on, let's change the music. All right, are you ready for the top 10 sellers of 2022? Hold on. I sipped my tea weird. Hold on, I lied. In case you forgot or in case you're joining in, the data is by quantity of individual bottles sold, excluding bottle sold in bundles and collection sets. Polishes released or re-released in the last 60 days are excluded because if they were included, they would never make it, or they would be low sellers maybe because there's less time for them to be available. So I did decide it was most fair to exclude basically the Christmas glitters and magnetic polishes for this reason. Are you ready for the top 10 sellers of 2022? 10. Shady Navy. She's pretty. I love her. She's so pretty. Thank you, Ray. Sorry, was that audio fine, Ben? Or should I turn it down now? Yeah. So the number 10 bestseller is Shady Navy. Now, let's reminder for those who were paying attention 10 minutes ago. Shady Navy was released in what? The Winter Shimmers collection, which was released in January, which does mean that in all likelihood, it was gonna be encouraged to the top because it's been around all year and technically has more time to be sold. Okay? So there's that. But, you know, we can still be happy about it. I'm still happy that Shady Navy, she's sexy. She looks really good matte too. This is one of my favorite cremes for coverage. I mean, all of our cremes are good coverage, but this one is like one thick coat. Delicious. It's almost like one coat navy, but I feel like, you know, I just, out of abundance of precaution, I don't advertise anything as one coat, but it is really good. All right. You ready for the next one? Number 9, Double Dare. Despite being a limited edition polish with a cap that sold out within 48 hours, Double Dare still made it to the number 9 top seller. Pretty good, not bad. So this was my limited edition birthday polish. And kind of wild that despite it having a cap and only being available for like, I think it lasted over a day, which, oh, thank God it was there. But yeah, she sold really well. So that's really cool. We love that. And a very unique, kind of very different formula and color. It had reflective pigments in it. It was a red to black multichrome. It also had scattered holo. There was a lot going on in that one, but it was iconic. All right. Next one, Flaky Holo Taco. Oh, a class. I love seeing classics in this list. I cannot. Look at this. Released in July 2019. That was when we launched Holo Taco. So despite being almost 4 years old, Flaky Holo Taco is still in our top 10 sellers, which is so powerful, especially when you look at the way in which we did this data analysis, which definitely favors stuff released in 2022 earlier. So the fact that this one is still on the list, like, that's my child right there. Flaky Holo Taco, my personal favorite holo topper. It's like the most dazzling, impressionable holo taco that you can put on any color you want. Ben, you should be pinning these products. Where's Ben? Oh, it says it's not available. What? Fuck. Okay. Or maybe that's just me. It's telling me it's not available. I do have a favorite child, yes, and it's Flaky Holo Taco. If we're talking about toppers, it's Flaky Holo Taco. I love it, but I'm definitely here for the toppers. Again, the fact that toppers at all are in the top 10, toppers in the top 10 is really good to hear, because that was kind of the ethos of Holo Taco. The whole point was to introduce toppers and top coats that you could put on anything to change the look of your mani. I know I'm just showing it over black here, but the whole point of this was that you can put it over anything. And that's why we started introducing cremes, so you had something to put your toppers over. But yeah, I'm just so excited. Toppers on top, yeah. Number 7, Gold Flake Taco. Okay, speaking of toppers, we love a Gold Flake Taco. So this was released in September of 2021, which means that it was not new this year, but it's still in the top sellers. Like it's doing so well. Like what? I'm really happy also that because this was doing so well, it was one of the reasons why we decided to launch a silver flake and a red flake taco that are currently seasonal. So they were released during 12 days of Christmas, but people had been begging for a silver version of this. So we did it, we found it, we got it. But I'm just really impressed and happy to see something as simple and classic as Gold Flake Taco doing so well. This is telling me a lot, like, about the customer base as well. Because, well, I, want, like, all the fucking rainbows in the land on my nails all at once right now. I am seeing through this kind of analysis that there is some favor for more simple, a little more refined, more sophisticated polishes or toppers. And I think this is an example of that. It's not holographic, it is metallic foil. So it's a very different look than like flaky Holo Taco. But people really like it, and I love seeing people's different manicures, different combinations. Look, I have it over butterscotch hop or over one coat black, matte versus glossy. Different ways to wear it. You could put it over like a plain shade, like a neutral, and have that look pretty refined and sophisticated as well. So yeah, different ways. It's for the elegant lady. Oh no, not the elegant lady. Okay. You love the matte shot? Yeah, the matte looks really good. It does. Even with over black. Or my favorite is Gold Flake Taco over Bring Me the Teal matte. Delicious. The tea is hot on that one. All right. Shall we move on to number 6? Yeah, the pins aren't working. I don't know. That's weird because I have like a shelf, right? But there's no pins working. What if you like refresh on your end? Here, let me just, sorry. Please hold. I want to see if it works on mine. Please hold, class. Yeah, it's not working. Susan! What do you mean? I see it on my end. But yeah, Ben, it's probably the same as you. I see it on the back end, but it's just like not showing up in the chat. Susan, not today. Come on, man. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess you can't buy anything. Just kidding. You could go to holotaco.com. You could just do that, but it's showing up from it is. But was there a product in the pin? Okay, I'm not trying to do tech support. Why am I always doing tech support? You can see the pin, but is there a product in the pin? You can see it on mobile? Okay, hold on, one more test. Fuck. Susan, I'm always helping you. I'm always doing your job. Let's see. So I don't see it on mobile, but other people say they see it on mobile. There is a product on mobile. Yes, it's on mobile. Okay, I don't see it. Because we're going to have to go back to YouTube and tell them. So, like, I don't know, Ben, if you're reading the chat really fast, but if there's some kind of consensus, like if people see it on mobile but not desktop, that would just be helpful. I don't see it at all. But, okay. I'll stop doing tech support. Trying to derail my stream. Susan, is she here? Girl. Okay, I'm going to remove it because for most people, I think it's saying it's not available. Like, there'll be a pin, but it'll say it's not available. All right. It's all good. Well, we're going to be okay. Oh, I already moved it. Okay. Number 6 top bestseller is I'm Over Brew. Okay, I love this one. What was I just saying about people favoring more classic shades? Look at this. A classic rich burgundy creme polish, which is by all accounts a basic polish. You know, no offense, there's nothing wrong with basic, but I'm just saying. For Holo Taco, the fact that I'm Over Brew, a polish released a while back in September 2021, is in the top 6 and it's a creme. Do you see what I'm saying? How like I'm learning things about this? Yeah, there was some of this in 2021 as well, if you recall, if you did your homework. But yeah, it just really goes to show that despite my personal love for like Holo and like put all the shit in one bottle, there's customers have spoken. Despite it being an older product, this isn't really new. They're just really gravitating towards some of the more simpler, classic, high coverage, good quality cremes in more traditional colors. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know, but I'm just saying like it isn't an unusual color, right? It's kind of a vampy burgundy. This isn't a revolutionary color or anything. The quality is pretty good though. Like the coverage is good, but you know what I mean? I'm just being honest here. Gotta be honest. It's good for toppers. Great point. Absolutely. So maybe people are seeing it and shopping in tandem with some of our toppers, which can really spice it up. But yeah, the fact that people are reaching for this shade as an individual and not in a collection, because this data excludes collections and bundles, is really great. I love that. It's a great color. The chat loves it. This collection was A+, thank you. And what's great is that it's selling beyond when it was marketed as a collection. Like this is people reaching for this shade specifically as an individual, which I love to see. All right. Now, before we move on to the top 5 shades, do you ever wonder how I was able to grab all this data? Well, that's because Holo Taco runs on Shopify, who sponsored this stream. So shout out to Shopify for sponsoring us. Shopify is an all-in-one commerce platform that lets people start, grow, and manage their own business. For example, Holo Taco uses Shopify to do all these things, to create our listings, to add pictures, to set prices, to track inventory, to see web store traffic, like how many people are on the website during launch or how many people are there right now. I can see you right now. We generate sales reports like this data that I'm sharing right now. I extracted all of it from our web store on Shopify. So much of running Holo Taco depends on having a good website that you can go to and shop, that works, that you can check out, and also being able to export that data in order to fulfill your order so that you can get Holo Taco shipped to you and enjoy the product. But yeah. So if you're looking to start your own business, check out Shopify and don't forget to use my link, shopify.com/simplynailogical to get started. Big shout out to Shopify for sponsoring this stream. I love doing the data. I love pulling the data and I love places that give me data. So, you know, big thank you to them. We appreciate it. Thank you, chat, as well. Yes. Thanks, Shopify, for sponsoring our favorite sock. All right. Moving on. Ben loves shopping. Yes, we love shopping and Shopify. Number 5. Oh, what? What? Look at this. It's my birthday again. You guys just really love my birthday, apparently. The number 5 bestseller is Got Cake, which was my birthday shade first released as limited edition back in October 2020. But we brought it back from the vault after people voted to bring it back. They were like, bring it back. So we brought it back in May of 2022. So it's been available since May, just for reference. You know how long, you know, because that's going to influence the data, yes. But Got Cake was an icon, and she was voted to be brought back. I can't, like, how can I not remember this? I don't know if it was our royalty or the loyalty program, Holo royalty voting, or if technically this vote landed before we started the royalty program. I don't know. There's been too many. There's too many. Like, I can't remember at what point shit happened. But after much request by whoever it was, this was brought back But Holo Royalty now holds the key in case you're like, what? Things can be brought back? Yes. So while I generally don't, like, I don't say things are limited edition and then just like be like, just kidding, 2 weeks later it's back. What has happened in the past is when something has been limited edition, we will keep it on a short list of polishes for a possibility to be voted to be brought back by Holo Royalty, which is our top tier of our loyalty program, because we figure that if the top customers of Holo Taco are voting because they really want something to come back, even though they like may have already purchased it hypothetically because they're in the top tier of Holo Taco, then we will consider it. And while I can't do that with every single polish, it's limited edition, I also wouldn't want to do that with every polish. Like, I'm kind of strategically like not letting everything come back because that defeats the purpose. But I also want it to be possible for, you know, some shades on occasion, with a democratic vote, of course, to be able to be brought back. So that's what happened with Got Cake. That's also what happened with Reflective Taco and Featured Guest. They voted on that not that long ago. But yeah, we won't be able to do that for everything. So, but occasionally, it's fine. And sometimes they make the right decision because Got Cake is now a top seller. Like, okay, all right. So when something was brought back and it's selling really well, then we're probably more inclined to keep it in stock. But for example, if Got Cake was brought back and then it wasn't doing well, like maybe we would just phase it out again. Like, you know, it is what it is. But as of 2022 results anyways, it's doing quite well, so I'm pleased to see that. We love a cake. Got cake? Yes. All right. Are you ready for number 4? Oh, it's Party of One Purple. Woo! Yo, this one, man. The story of this one. Iconic. Legendary. It's everything. It's just like, it has a whole backstory in case you missed it. It's a wild one, and the whole chat is just gonna call this shade poop. I think they have to poop. I will take this opportunity to remind the class, if you have to go to the bathroom, just go to the bathroom. You don't need to write that you have to poop in the chat. Like, that's too much information. Okay, you guys are like, you're being a little weird. Why are you all pooping? Like, you don't need to tell us that. I know that I tell you when I pee out the tea, but it's a little weird for you to like write it, you know, like, and some of you have your full names and you're saying that you're pooping. Like, I'm gonna contact your parents after class and tell them that you're pooping. It's a little weird, okay? Anyways, back to Party of One Purple, which is not an acronym for anything. It is just 4 words, actually, if you can read them, chat. The story of this one, should we revisit? Yeah, we should. Let's revisit the story. Okay, so Party One Purple was originally supposed to be released back in, was it 2021, with the Life's a Beach cremes, which included Seafoam Home, the Flores Guava, and 1 million followers. It was supposed to be the 4th creme in that bundle, but I was not happy with the purple. It just like, it wasn't like the brightness and everything that I wanted. It wasn't the right shade of purple. I don't know why purples are so hard. Like, what the fuck? They actually are, despite it being, you know, some of the top selling colors at Holo Taco. Purple pigments are really weird. Like, they just like, they hate you for some reason. They need more work. I feel like I've heard this in makeup cosmetics too. I've heard like different brands, not brands, but like different influencers who like know more about makeup say this as well, but like purple eyeshadow is really hard to formulate. Maybe it's related, but I actually have no idea. All I know is that, yeah, we did not get it right originally, so we didn't release it. And so Party of One Purple was shelved for almost a year until we perfected it and we found a place to put it. Because it's not just about fixing the formula. It's also about like, okay, well, where do we release it? Like, I'm not just going to release it randomly in the middle of a launch, or sorry, in between launches, because that's annoying to customers. You know, you want to group it up with something. So we decided to release it alongside the 3rd anniversary Gala collection. Because it's our anniversary, it's a time to celebrate the brand, and Party of One Purple crashed the Gala party. And then I was like, yo, okay, the marketing kind of works, so let's throw it in there. But obviously that was not the initial plan. But sometimes you just got to be flexible. Sometimes things get pushed back, they change, and then you got to change things up. And that's definitely something that I've learned, is to how to make plan B work. And it's going to be okay as long as, you know, I'm happy with the product and everything. But yeah. She was finally released in July of 2022 as an individual, which is a really important data point that we need to acknowledge right now. Yes, sorry to all the people who are like, I don't care. But Party One Purple was only ever released as an individual, which means that it was never eligible to be purchased in a collection box or a bundle, which means that in all likelihood, individual sales were going to be way more inflated because you weren't able to purchase it in a bundle, which would have been excluded from the data. So I understand why this is in the top 4. I also think it's just on its own a really good seller. Like, even if I look at just sales of it last month randomly when it like wasn't new, it still does perform really well. So I think it's a little combination of both. Like, it was a really popular shade. It did have a bit of history that people in the know were like really looking forward to this missing purple shade. And also that knowing that the data is kind of going to favor this one towards the top because it wasn't able to be purchased in a bundle anyways. Was Party One Purple's what was its original shade name? Party One Purple. I swear. So the Life's a Beach concept was like, I stay inside and I don't want to go to parties kind of thing. So Party One Purple went with like Seafoam Home, One Melon Followers, The Floors, Guava, and the Life's a Beach set. We never changed the name, but it just so happened that Party One Purple, that shade name still worked when we released it with Gala, so we could say that Party One Purple was crashing the party. It's just like, it just kind of worked out perfectly. Yeah, that was always its name. All right, so I'm excited to see the purple. I know that a lot of people who were waiting for a long time for Party One Purple to arrive are excited to see it on here as well. Okay, let's go back to some funky music because we're getting into the top 3. What are your predictions? Okay, go ahead. What do you guys think are the top 3 sellers at Holo Taco in 2022? Put it in the chat. We'll see if you're right or wrong. Uh-oh. What is it? Let's go. A lot of One Coat Black, Lost in the Woods, Reflective Taco, Electrostatic, Glossy Taco. You didn't listen to the beginning. Favorite Sister, Highest Bidder, Everything Taco, great. Okay, we've got some good guesses. There's a lot of correct guesses, but there's also a lot of incorrect guesses that are gonna probably be screaming when they find that their fave wasn't in the top. But don't worry, we're gonna over-explain everything. Can't wait for that. All right, the top 3. Not in number 3. In the 3rd place is Not Milky White. A classic. I know you're probably not that excited because it's like literally just white, but Not Milky White is a classic white that is not milky. Wow, look at that. Descriptive names, go me. I'm such a great copywriter. But it was released way back in March 2020 with the original Unicorn Skins collection. That was only our like 3rd collection. Does that make sense? I think it was like, yeah, our 3rd collection ever released. We released Not Milky White alongside Indigo Away and the first 3 Unicorn Skins. She had a reformulation since she was first released. So it's a little bit different formula now. A little bit more self-leveling, less thick. So even though I wanted like the most opaque, almost one coat white, it appeared that the customer base didn't want that because they find, thicker polishes a little harder to work with. So we did thin it out a little bit, but it's still Not Milky White in 2 to 3 coats. And yeah, people really love this shade. They've been purchasing it all year this year, despite it not being new. And it's really good to see that some of these kind of classic shades, including white, which like wouldn't have been my first guess for what people want to wear on their nails, but maybe people are thinking of nail art. Maybe people are thinking of like, what if you wear it as an accent nail or French tip purposes? I think having a really good white polish in your collection is kind of key to just anyone who does their nails, because there's so many different purposes you can use it for. It's really, yeah, if you want to do nail art, a dodicure, French tip, if you do any kind of like stamping or water marble and you need a white, or you just want like a fresh slate, a white is just a really good must-have in anyone's collection. It's also like, it's really good too, like the formula and the coverage. Yeah, stamping, yeah. White is trendy. Okay, sure, yeah, totally did that on purpose. She's a good basic to have, yeah. A good white polish is essential. Exactly, Allison. It's a good base for glow in the dark. Great point. Maybe that's why. Oh, look at this. We got smart chatters in the chat. Yes, absolutely. If I didn't look at this, but if I did, I'd probably find that Not Milky White kind of peaked a little bit during the glow in the dark release. Although we've excluded it in bundles. So even though we put Not Milky White in a bundle with it, maybe people were still choosing to pick up the white individually. Yeah. All right. Are you ready for the top two? Are you ready? Tell me you're ready. Who's ready? Top two, let's go. All right, everybody. The top two bestseller of Holo Taco is Everything Taco. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh mama is so proud of her. Oh my god, I love this one. So Everything Taco was first released as a limited edition polish in the Remix collection in July of 2021. Iconic, okay? And if you need a little bit of backstory, Everything Taco is a remix or a mix of all of our unicorn skins at that time, which was 6 different unicorn skins and 3 of our Holo Tacos. So that's linear, flaky, and scattered. So that's 9 different toppers were mixed into one to make this shade, which is very annoying, like extremely annoying to the lab to have to mix all those pigments. And even more annoying when I said, actually, Holo Royalty voted to bring it back for this year in February 2022. Yeah, so I annoyed the lab when we first made this, and then I annoyed them again. And I was like, you know what? Like, Holo Royalty said to bring it back, and I can't ignore the votes because this is a democracy. Yeah, we did that, and we are sorry. Shout out to the Holo Taco. Shout out to the warehouse. Shout out to everyone who works on Holo Taco in the lab. We appreciate you. We apologize for annoying you to put 9 different pigments in one bottle. But we did that. And we very much appreciate it. The lab hates us, but we love them. Exactly, Nico. Yes. So this one was brought back because, I mean, like, look at it. It's iconic. It is really the ethos, the essence of Holo Taco in one bottle. And although it was supposed to be just like a special shade for our 2nd anniversary collection, there's just so much about it that even I agree, like, okay, no, like, we need this. we need this. It's also a really good option. I think this is me like giving anecdotes, but I don't know. I'm not interviewing customers. Imagine if we did like post-purchase interviews, not just surveys, but like real interviews. Anyways, I'd ask them these questions and be really fucking annoying, and they probably never shop again. But like, just in my mind, if I'm imagining a customer who's like maybe new to Holo Taco, you know, they're picking up a few things just to try, and if they see that the brand is about toppers, but they're overwhelmed because there's 6, what the fuck's a unicorn skin? There's 6 of them. There's 3 shimmers. There's 3 shiny silver looking things. But this one, called Everything Taco and described as a mix of some of our toppers, is like kind of the key to that really confusing experience, maybe, where someone's like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, what's a taco, like, is this food? This is kind of where I think it's been easy to point someone to, and then they get to experience the magic transformation of whatever nail polish they put it over. Like, even like random nail polish at home, you could put this over anything and kind of get it. You're like, oh, okay, I see all these special effects showing different rainbows. There's so much shit going on. I think that's what it is. So I'm really happy that we were able to bring this back and that it was voted to be brought back. Let us opt in for interviews. Yeah. Yo, if you get an email from me, yo, you better run because I'm going to take up all your time. Very excited that this one we were able to bring back, and we will keep it in stock as long as people are purchasing it. I think, you know, the statistics don't lie. It's doing extremely well, and I'm very proud of that. All right, are we ready? How do I get a drum roll? Hold on, I'm gonna get a drum roll. Are you ready for the #1 best-selling polish at Holo Taco in 2022? One Coat Black! Woo! We got her. It's One Coat Black, everybody. Let's go. Shocking. Well, not shocking. But she's legendary, iconic, a classic, the best of all time. She's the GOAT. It's One Coat Black. First released in July 2019 when we first launched the brand. And she's still here. She's still killing it. The absolute best, and there's just no denying it. You can't escape that our #1 thing is the quality of our One Coat Black creme. It really is one coat. I wonder if that's why it's the bestseller. Maybe it's because, like, you know how some companies use like marketing to say like, okay, well, that's One Coat Black, but like our shade name is actually One Coat Black because the product is One Coat Black. It's black in one coat, and we're not lying, because if you look at the reviews for this shade, it has like almost 5 stars and thousands of reviews, and people are just really happy with this product, and I am so happy with them being happy with this product. And it's just classic. It is the polish that you need to put under all the toppers we just mentioned. The best way to see these polishes, the best way to see a lot of our toppers is over black, because black will show them off in the coolest way. But there's also people who just want black polish, you know, to wear on its own. I like black polish sometimes. It's also great for nail art if you're doing a couple stripes. Everyone needs a really opaque black polish in their collection. I don't care who you are. Even if you're like, I don't wear black polish, that's like emo or some stereotype or whatever. No. Listen, do you do nail art? Do you have toppers? Like, there's so many reasons why you might want a black polish in your collection. And it's not just for like putting your nails all black like this picture, you know? The possibilities truly are endless when you have a black polish. I wish it had the thick brush. All of our cremes have the thick brush. We made that change almost a year ago. It's listed in the description of all of our cremes. But yeah, all of our cremes that we release since for like a year now, and then all the ones that were previously released, they all have the wider, rounded, what we're calling the thick, rounded creme brush. I use One Coat Black as a topper. Yo, good point. If you're me, then maybe you also see a valuable use case for One Coat Black if you have nail polish that you can't show because the detectives will you know, expose all your secrets and you need to cover it up before stream. Then just apply one coat of One Coat Black to cover it up. Great sales pitch there for the like 2 people who need that. It's so black that it'll hide all your secrets. Yeah, just one coat, cover up all those secret prototypes that you can't show anyone yet. All right, is anyone surprised at the results? Are we shocked? Here, there you go. What do we think? Are we surprised? Are we shocked? Are we sad? Were we rooting for something else? Let's go. This is the information time. Let's do a little debrief. Not surprised, so many cremes. I was surprised that, yes, I agree with that one. Boring graph, excuse me. Excuse me? What? Okay, you can prepare a stream for us next. You can prepare a whole deck, Hazel. Not shocked. No lavender syrup. Yes. That's on the next slide. I'm going to show you something in a second. Surprised no linears. Okay. This is all good feedback. Yes. Okay. So let me give you my explanation, also having looked at the other data methodologies. So I think what we see here is some top performing classics that are going to kill it no matter what if you use this methodology, probably like for future years. Like I would expect to continue to see, just based on the past couple years as well, like one coat black, not milky white, and then a couple cremes that I do think are going to change every year. But I'm Over Brew is really strong now. It could drop out next year, and maybe if like there's another burgundy, there isn't, but just like hypothetically, you know. And then we have Party One Purple, which was really popular because it was just released in July, so you've got that new factor. But time will tell. Time will tell whether some of these new released ones, which are identified with a little star and a note here, that these were new this year. So it's important to know that like the new factor is going to play into something landing in the top 10, because most people will buy when something's new. That's just consumerism. That's, you know, that's life of consumers, I guess. But the ones that don't have that, to me, really says a lot. The ones that weren't new this year, but are still in the top, those are my like, okay, these are what people are like really buying. And it's not because they're new. It's just because they're truly reaching for it. Oh, did I do the slide wrong? Fuck. Oh my God, I messed up the slides. No, oh my God, I didn't check my work. Yo, Ben, you're right. You guys are right. I messed it up. Okay, okay. Yeah. You've caught the teacher at her worst moment. F. So this is correct, but this was incorrect. This should have been lavender. Yeah. This should have been lavender. I think, like, why did I do that? I think I had like a different counting system. But then I redid it. I think I counted it wrong. Yes, I did. Okay. So I did like one export earlier on, and then I realized I had to redo it, and I left Double Dare in, but it had actually dropped to like number 11 or something, or 12. It's like right after, and Lavender was supposed to be there, and it had just flipped the few there. But the chart is what's right. Yeah, it's not biased. It's like, this is why you always get your work verified, and I didn't verify this with another party. Yeah, okay. I apologize, class. It happens to the best of us. My memory is that Double Dare was like right here, but when I first pulled the data, for some reason I mucked it up and it landed in here, and Lavender was there. So anyways, it was actually a flip. This chart is what is correct. My bad. Holy shit. Ben, why? Like, I went over this with Ben and both of us missed it. Oh my God. Oh, I get a B-. Okay, yeah. You know what? You all get A's because I just failed. Yo, when you prepare so much and you still fuck up, okay? That is the mood that I'm feeling. Yeah, simply tired. Yeah. Maybe I sabotaged it for Sally. All right, let me go over this and explain. Let me explain myself. Don't pull data at 2 in the morning, okay? Like, maybe don't do that, chat. What I'm seeing on this is correct. The chart's correct. The other stuff is not. Anything that was newly released this year or was re-released, I've marked with an asterisk and a date. Sally can't use this data because she isn't willing to lower her profit margin. Yeah. Okay. Sally is happy that I just had a big fuck up. It wasn't just a putsy fuck up. It was a big fuck up. Okay. The newer stuff released is flagged because it is being biased by being new and also early in the year. So early in the year, you are going to have the things released in January. So like we have Lavender and Shady Navy, which were both released like the first thing of 2022. So it makes sense to me that they're here. And if you're wondering, well, where's the shimmers? The shimmers are like right here. The shimmers are like right after, but it's interesting to me that people were more interested in purchasing the cremes as individuals throughout the year rather than the shimmers. So that is interesting, right? Again, speaking to kind of a different customer base that's interested in cremes. Got Cake and Party One Purple were both released towards the first half of this year, and Party One Purple only available as an individual. So that does kind of, explain why this one is high up there. And then you've got Everything Taco, which was re-released in February. So very early on in the year, people were very excited for it to come back. And it's way up there, which is great to see. So if you were to include bundles and boxes, then you would, I've seen a lot of people asking about like Lost in the Woods or Dark Rainbow Shades. If I had included bundles and boxes, then I would have like at least 3 of the Dark Rainbow Shades in this list because the Dark Rainbow box sold really well. So that would have pumped up those individuals. Like you definitely would have had like Lost in the Woods and Dead Petals would have been in this list as well. And the same goes for Reflective Taco and Featured Guest. So although those were released individually initially and then they came back later, they haven't been around for that long, having come back like so late in the year, but they sold well if you count them in the collection box. So there's that to consider. There's a lot of like caveat that we kind of went over at the beginning of the stream, but this is just individual, so you do have to remember that you have to delete all the collection boxes from your mind. If you include collection boxes, as I explained earlier in the stream, you will only end up with polishes in this list that were released this year that came in a collection box. So you would see all Dark Rainbows, you'd see all the Winter Shimmers, you'd probably get the Shimmers, and you would lose, the other ones would drop out, because if we add all the collection box, like Shady Navy sold in this bar, it might even kick out some of these other ones, which isn't really what I wanted to do with this data, because that's just gonna bias like what collection boxes were sold this year early in the year. Like that's what you would end up getting, because the majority of our sales for a polish come from the polish being in that box. So if you add the whole box to this data, these are gonna shoot way up and everything else will be kicked out of this list. But my goal is like, my research question is which individual polishes are people reaching for the most? I don't want it to just be biased by collection box sales. So that's the explanation again, in case you missed it, as to why I've chosen to do this method, because of the type of research question that I'm getting at. The global sales obviously is important, behind the scenes for business reasons, but all it's gonna do for you is just like tell you what collection boxes we released this year in the order we released them in, because that's exactly what the data would look like. Makes sense? I know you guys were listening to the beginning. Simply did that mistake on purpose. Got to do that counterintelligence to fight the corporate espionage we all know drugstore brands are doing. Yo, true. How do you know? Maybe I foiled the plan on purpose. All right. Let's compare to last year. How about this? How about this, everybody? This is last year. For those of you who didn't do your homework, you're welcome. I'm doing it for you. This was the top 10 nail polishes slide from last year's presentation using the same methodology. Another reason why I just wanted to keep this methodology is for consistency purposes, so we can compare year to year. Otherwise, shit gets messy. So last year we also had One Coat Black, Not Milky White, Flaky Holo Taco, I'm Over Brew, but it made more sense for I'm Over Brew and Gold Flake Taco because they were new last year. But this is what I'm saying, they stood the test of time and they remained in the top 10 despite not being new this year. So that is what is kind of key information to me. If you want to look out specifically, these are the polishes that dropped out of the top 10. We have Electrostatic, Existential Crisis, which was no longer available, Lavender Syrup, Aurora Unicorn Skin, and Duct Tape Cray. But don't be sad. Don't be sad if you're stans of these polishes, because all of these polishes that dropped out from last year, they're still in at least the top 30 out of like 127 or something, however many polishes. So they're still good sellers. And if I look at it specifically, I did some granular polls for you. Electrostatic is the 5th best-selling linear holo. Still, even though it's not new. And that's after like some dark rainbow shades and featured guest, which makes sense. Lost in the Woods is the best-selling linear holo, if you're wondering. Existential Crisis is gone. Lavender Syrup is the 6th best-selling linear. So we have Electrostatic, and then right up against it is Lavender Syrup. So they're still very popular when it comes to linear holos. They're just not in this year's top 10. And then Aurora Unicorn Skin is still the best-selling unicorn skin after Everything Taco. If we're counting Everything Taco as a unicorn skin because it's a blend, Aurora Unicorn Skin is like right here, you know, it's just on the other side. But it wasn't dethroned in that sense by another color of unicorn skin. And Duct Tape Gray is still in the top 10 best-selling cremes. So yeah, all of these, like, they dropped out a little bit, but they're still very much a great seller. I see a lot of you asking about Lost in the Woods. So Lost in the Woods is not far from here. It's not far from, like, if I were to extend this a little bit. But a lot of people decided to, this is what I'm thinking. I suspect that because the Dark Rainbow collection was released in the second half of the year, it didn't have a full year's worth of data to catch up to some of the individual shades released earlier in the year. Like all of these, like, released January, May, July, February. So they've had more time to exist and to be purchased. I also think another contributing factor to Lost in the Woods not landing in the top is that most people, when they see a rainbow, they buy the whole rainbow rather than picking and choosing. So the collection box for Dark Rainbow sold really well. And then we had a bundle for Dark Rainbow and even a Rainbow Trilogy bundle, which was the 3 Rainbow Linear Holo collections. So I think most people were getting their, like, forest green linear holo through purchasing the bundle, but I can't discern that they were, like, after green from that data. So that's kind of my guess as to why Lost in the Woods wasn't pushed up towards the top, but probably mostly because it was released in, like, August. So that's why, you know. But I will tell you that Lost in the Woods was the best-selling individual. We gotta let some things go. I know Existential Crisis was a moment, but I can't bring back everything, you know. Otherwise, what's the point of limited edition? That's what other brands do. They say everything is limited edition and they're all back. Okay. Oh, sorry. I had green arrows in case you wanted green arrows. This is just indicating what's new this year, what newly came into the top 10. And it's no coincidence that everything that came in was either newly released in 2022 or re-released in 2022, and that they were available earlier-ish in the year. And that will definitely influence the quantities being sold throughout the year. So this makes sense to me, but the question is, next year, will some of these shades stand the test of time or will they drop out? So, like, I'm already seeing, like, black, white, I'm Over Brew, Gold Flake Taco, and Flaky Holo Taco. Like, those are our true, like, top 5 of all time shades, which is really interesting and good to know. But, like, I wonder if Everything Taco is gonna, like, kick out Flaky Holo Taco next year. I guess we'll see. We ship out of our single warehouse in the US, which is where Holo Taco is made and fulfilled. All right. The next thing I would like to discuss is because I know we've got some limitations to this methodology, but there's limitations to every methodology. But me being the data researcher that I am, the absolute freak that I am, despite making errors, can you trust me? I don't know. But what I wanted to do is, after looking at multiple different methods to try and figure out like what are the best selling polishes, I kind of did some qualitative assessments here. I did a little bit of mixed methods. I looked at the 3 different methods, and then I kind of used my analytical but also anecdotal gathering brain to figure out like what would I say if I had to put 10 Holo Taco polishes on a pedestal and say in 2022, I think these were kind of the key core bestsellers. Simply's interpretation, I'm gonna do that. So we're doing a top 10 methodology check. My interpretation, if I take into account all the methods and use my own brain to share with you, it's like the vibe. Well, it's not my favorites. Let me just be clear. Not my personal favorites, but my picks for what the data is saying. If you consider all of the caveats and footnotes and everything, and take into all those like little like extraneous variable complications into account. This is what I would say was like the top 10 bestsellers, okay? I still think we've got One Coat Black, but I'm gonna throw in Twilight Shimmer because that was the top selling shimmer, and it was like right after. If I were to expand the last graph, you'd definitely see a Twilight Shimmer. So I'm gonna throw that in there. Everything Taco, iconic, has to be in there. Bet Bet Blue, I'm throwing in because Julian needed to be in this stream somewhere. And just in case you're like, why wasn't he in the top 10? That's because with his collection that was limited edition, like anything that's limited edition, there is a cap. So once we reach that cap, there's no more sold. So it makes it kind of impossible for it to get in the top 10 sellers of like the entire year. So, but if we control for that and just look at like top sellers within the constraints and the availability that they had, I'm definitely throwing up Bet Bet Blue. That was the best seller from his collection, and it did really well, all things considered, for the quantities and the time that it was available. Shout out to Julian. But yeah, had to throw them in there, and it had to be that shade because that was the best seller. You bought 3 of them. That's where they all went. Honestly, these look good as a bundle. Do they? It's kind of like fucking all over the place. Then we've got Party One Purple. The data doesn't lie, but the story for this one also really lends to it making a lot of sense that this one was gonna be on a top 10 list. But then I had to add Reflective Taco and Featured Guest, which the current methodology did not really lend that well to because they were limited edition during Gala, but they were brought back during 12 Days of Christmas. But that only gave me like 20 days of sales data more recently. But if I take that into account, these two still are selling really well, and I think that they deserve to be acknowledged in some form of a top 10. So yeah, we've got Reflective Taco, which looks like stoplights, or not stoplights, like the stop sign at night. And then we've got Featured Guest, which was like a dove gray, near off-white linear hollow, more subtle impact. And then we've got Lost in the Woods. Of course, I know a lot. Wow, I was gonna say you guys are lost. I am lost, okay? I'm lost after that data snafu. I still can't get over it. I'm fired. Yo, I'm Lost in the Woods, okay? Lost in the Woods was right up there, and I think had she been released in January, hypothetically, she would have absolutely been in the data for the top 10. So I'm throwing her in there. She's an incredibly good seller. People love this shade of green. They love our linear formula as well. It's like one of the most consistently highest rated formulas is our linear hollow formula because the coverage is so delicious. Then I've got Double Dare in there as well. It sold really well despite it being available for a limited time. And Favorite Sister. Okay, so Favorite Sister was a tricky one because a lot of people bought it in the treats bundle. So when we first launched Favorite Sister, it was available in a Wicked Duo bundle, which is a bundle. I can't speak. A Wicked Duo bundle, Wicked Sisters, which is technically a bundle in the way that I've pulled the data, so that wouldn't have counted those. And it was also sold in the treats bag or the all treats no bag. So there was 3 different ways to pick up Favorite Sister that wasn't individually. So I also think that's why it wasn't being picked up in the top 10, and the fact that it was released later in the year. But she wasn't far, and I have a slide soon on a Frosted Metal sub-study. Don't worry, we'll get to that. But Favorite Sister is doing really well, all things considered, in the way that, you know, the data is collected. But definitely, I love this shade. I'm really proud of it. I know people have received it really well, and people just were really waiting for like kind of this bright classic red Frosted Metal. So yeah, that's my top 10. Not my personal favorites, but my top 10 if I were to assess the data. If I had like if this was, you know, back in the government and I had like a director asking me to like find the top 10 data points for something, I would drive it by data, but I would also take into account a lot of contextual reasonings and then like use that knowledge to derive a new list that makes the most sense, because that's what you need when you're making like policy decisions or any decisions. It's not just flat data. Like, yes, you need that, but if context is necessary to make them make sense, then you're gonna want to do that. So that's kind of what this is. This is my context provided deck or results slide here. Simply's context. Uh-oh. Hold on, I gotta change the music. Hold on, wait. Should we go pee first? Okay, I need to pee first. I'm gonna put on some music. And we're gonna do a quick pee break. And I will be right back. I forgot to run an ad for Susan. There you go, Susan. I don't even know if it's working. Pinning isn't working. Who knows? All right, are we okay? Is everyone okay? We need to do a check-in. It's time to be emotional about nail polish. Oh my god, I wrote 2021! Hold on. I need to fix that. It's bothering me. Okay, I fixed it. I didn't use last year's deck as a template. We are gathered here today to discuss the practical reality that something has to be in the bottom. If things are on top, it's impossible for things not to be at the bottom. No one should feel bad if their faves are at the bottom. It's gonna happen to someone, okay? And I appreciate that you understand that I'm kind of memeing right now. Okay, I'm just being funny. I'm not trying to actually make people cry about nail polish. This is a meme, but it is kind of funny, and I like the sense of humor. Okay, my footnote is over. I'm going to resume my acting now. Please join me in this moment where we will acknowledge the bottom 10 sellers of Holo Taco in 2022. It has to be someone. It's gotta be someone. Will it be your fave? Is it gonna be you? Are you gonna cry today? Am I gonna cry today? Who do you not want to see show up? No Zyler, no Blue Freezy. Cold Shoulder, well, she's gone, but... Not Zyler, anything but green, no blues, I'm not ready. Frosted Metals, Choco Hollow, Lemon Spritzer, Mint Mojito, oh no, don't say this! Oh my god! It's awful! Okay, we can get through this. We've got each other. I think we can get through this, okay? Everyone hold hands, take a deep breath. By quantity of individual bottles sold, excluding bottles sold in bundles and collection sets. Polishes released or re-released in the last 60 days are excluded. This includes Christmas glitters and magnetic polishes because they didn't reasonably have enough time to accumulate sales, so they will not be included in this bottom 10 sellers list. Okay, that's the footnote. The number 10 worst seller, most slept on seller at Holo Taco is Chameleon Coat. No! No! Not again! Not again! No! How could you do this to us again? Yo, it fucking hurts! This hurts me! 2 years in a row, you did Chameleon Coat dirty like this! Rude! So typical of you to hurt me like that and do it again, year after year. Chameleon Coat shall get the attention it deserves. It is a beautiful shifting multi-chrome that shifts from green to an army green to a kind of bronzy hue. It was first released in September of 2020 in the multi-chrome collection. And unfortunately, it's not only the worst selling multi-chrome that we've ever released, but it's also twice now on the bottom 10 list at Holo Taco. It's not what she deserves, but it's what she got. And, you know, you guys did this. All right. Are we ready to hear more bad news? All right, let's move on to number 9. Here for the payday. Oh no! What's wrong? No one's here for the payday, I guess. Something I don't understand. What don't you like about this bright chartreuse green creme? Okay? Like clearly something is wrong with you if you don't want to, if you're not fighting to wear this nail polish immediately. Yeah. A classic. Released this year too. Released in February with our work-life balance cremes. And yes, although she sold okay in the bundle, yes, because that bundle did well, no one was picking her up individually. Everyone said, forget the payday, you know. They just want board meeting or left on red or work bestie, but they were not here for the payday. Sad. Disappointing. Green's not your color? Okay, well then you just left her here to cry. Yep. Okay. All right. So far we've got 2 greens. What is this? This green hate. Let's move on to the next shade. That's not green. It's blue. And it's one of the fucking OG rainbow shades. Why? No, not the rainbow. It's Blue Freezy, first released in June of 2020. with the OG linear holo rainbow collection. Remember I was just telling you about how amazing our linear holo formula is and how people love it so much because it's so opaque and beautiful and shines rainbows? But then I see this bullshit. People are blue frozen to love of blue shades, I guess. Sad. Very sad. But let's move on to a repeat of a familiar, disloved color. We've got full charge! No! Another green and a linear holo. The number 7 bottom seller at Holo Taco in 2022. Fuck, I forgot to change the slide again. Is full charge. First released last year in June of 2021 with the Electric Holos collection. Yeah, you know, people are not picking up the greens, but like even the linear holo couldn't redeem her. Like, what is going on? There's so much green and there's so much hate in this world for green. Oh, I guess people just, you know, what do you hate? Plants, okay? Do you hate the grass? Do you hate limes? You hate the environment, that's what it is. I'm calling you out. Environment haters, hating on green polish. You hate nature. You hate frogs. You hate trees. I see you. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Another green. Yo, what? I think you guys are trying to tell me something. Okay. You said I hate nature. You hate green taffy too. Okay, also another linear holo released in the OG Rainbow collection back in 2020. This is pretty fucked up of you, isn't it? This is personal. You are trying to tell me something. You're trying to say, Christine, never release a green again. At least a green that's not dark green. You hate every green except dark green. Why? Are all your plants like really dark? You only like pine trees? What about like palm trees? It's pretty fucked up of you. Should we move on to number 5? In the same color story that we haven't moved. We've got blue and slick. We've got another blue. We had blue freezy, and now we have blue ain't slick. A multi-chrome polish that shifts from blue to a darker indigo shade of blue. First release alongside Chameleon Coat in September of 2020. But people just aren't picking her up at all. People are just like, I don't care about you. They don't understand that multi-chromes are actually really cool polishes, and they hate the environment. They hate water and plants. What is wrong with this new generation of people? I think we need a Menchie break. I don't know about you. I need a Menchie break. Lick that bed, girl. Lick that bed. You know, we're gonna get through this if you just watch Menchie lick that bed. Okay, should I stop the sad music? I don't know, it's kind of funny though. I had my disclaimer in here. I feel like I'm safe to proceed. The music is perfect. Keep it. Okay. I mean, if you guys are, please don't actually cry. Like I'm being funny. You know this, right? Like, I'm not actually crying. It's okay. We are data nerds. At the end of the day, we understand that obviously something has to be at the bottom. That's literally how numbers work. Okay. But here's Menchie in case you're actually being, in case you need a hug. There's Menchie. Just pretend she's licking your feet right now. Or your ear. She was licking my ear last night when I was playing video games on Ben's stream. She wouldn't stop licking inside my ear because she's a freak. Okay, as long as we're good and we've collected ourselves and understand that, you know, we're memeing in here, then I will proceed with the sad music. But I just want you guys to also be memeing and not actually be like dying on the inside, okay? We understand this. Yes, yes. Say, I understand. I understand. It ruins the meme if we acknowledge it, but you know, I feel like I have to. Tell me you're memeing. Yo, I'm such a boomer right now. Thank you, chat. Okay, all right. I think we're good. We all understand what we're doing here. Now we're gonna continue. Nodders, yeah. All right. Moving on to the bottom 4 selling polish here at Holo Taco in 2022. We've got finally a different color. Okay, so you've told me you hate the water, you hate plants, you also hate the sun. You hate the sun. Maybe you just hate the planet. I don't know what it is. We've got orange drink. A bright, vibrant, juicy tangerine orange, first released in June 2020 with the OG Rainbow Collection. We've got a lot of rainbows that people just don't appreciate when they're on their own, I guess, you know? No one wants to drink the orange drink. Well, you know, don't drink the nail polish. You do hate the sun? I mean, I can't blame us because we like to stay inside watching data streams instead of going outside. Hi, that's me, that's you. But yeah, sad to report that orange drink, no one wants to drink her. Even though she is a beautiful, stunning, full coverage orange linear holo. Very bright, very juicy. All right, are we ready for number 3? The number 3 bottom seller is Lemon Sucker. You guys suck. This sucks. This lemon suckers. To see such a stunning, beautiful, bright lemon shade that I guess people think it's unwearable. I don't know, like what did the elegant ladies consider this an unwearable shade of nail polish or something, you know, whatever. I don't listen to them. I hope you don't listen to them. It's no surprise that we've got yellow in the bottom, like, yeah, you know, no one is shocked because unfortunately every time we launch a collection, if there's a yellow or even a brown shade, it's usually not the favorite. Yeah, we've got some not fans. Here, let's do a poll. Do you like to wear yellow polish? Do you like to wear yellow polish? Like, do you want to wear yellow polish? Yes or no? Very general question. I'm not talking about this shade specifically, but just like in general, whatever the yellow, do you find yourself reaching for a yellow shade? You're like, yes, I'm gonna wear yellow today as my full manicure. Not nail art. Exclude nail art. Obviously, nail art's different. Amber Apathy would count as yellow. I would call that yellow. It's like dark. But again, this is one of, was that 4? This is the 4th shade? From the OG Rainbow Collection. Green Taffy, Blue Freezy, Orange Drink, Lemon Sucker. That's 4 out of 7 in the bottom. R.I.P. Rainbows. Yeah. But yeah, as a data point reminder, this excludes bundle sales. Dark yellow, yeah, okay, you guys are gonna like dark yellow, yes, light yellow, no, I know, I'm trying to keep it, generally speaking, okay, let's keep it simple, said me, never. Are you reaching for yellow, whatever yellow that is to you? Do you reach for yellow to put on your nails as its own shade, not nail art? We're hating on nature and fruit, the sun, the water, the environment. Like this is also the sun, okay? You guys hate it. You guys hate the world. That's what I'm concluding. Let's see the poll. It's been 1 minute. Let's look at the results. 62% of you, the majority, say you do not like to wear yellow polish. And I'm gonna just guess that the 38% of you who said yes are also just like a little biased because I've emotionally kind of ruined you right now. But with all the music that you just feel so bad. I think it's your guilt voting yes. But I would guess, you know, my inclination would be that 38% is actually lower than now 37% if we were to do this again when you didn't have this bias sitting right beside you. But yeah, unfortunately, no one is that surprised that yellow isn't really a shade that people reach for the most. It's just not. I guess one of the colors has to be on the bottom. All right, okay, let's move on to the bottom two sellers. This is a tough one for me, okay? The next one is a tough one for me. No memes, just simply. My son, my only son, Zyler the cat. No, Zyler! Menchie! It's your brother! It's your brother! You know, I tried. I fought hard for Zyler to be picked back up, to be saved, because there was a period, maybe a year after release, where he was just not doing well, you know, in the sales. And, we thought we were gonna get rid of him, but then I petitioned to not get rid of him, and he was temporarily saved, you know, because that's just what happens when you tell people, like I'm doing right now, that things are low sellers, they will feel bad for them and want to buy them. And although I'm not trying to do this as marketing, I want to do data. So it's a very interesting, difficult conundrum to be put in. But, you know, I'm coming at this from I want to share data because I'm a freak, but I also understand that there's going to be, you know, secondary consequences of me sharing data. Anyways, sidebar, back to the mainstream. Zyler the cat, we also must acknowledge, I have to tell you that this is heavily biased by it not being in stock for about 4 months. Yeah, so Zyler hasn't been in stock since, was it September-ish? So that also explains, I think, I'm gonna just say that the reason why it's in the bottom 10 is because it wasn't even available for sale for the last 4 months of 2022. But if it was available, then like it totally wouldn't have been in the bottom 10, okay? Yeah. But this is one of the rare circumstances where we kind of have this caveat. Usually most of the stuff is in stock unless it's a limited edition shade. But we did have an issue with one of the pigments because, again, my fault. I like to make holo glitters that are full of very annoying different colored glitters. And when even one of them is just wrong or incorrect or whatever, and we can't get it or we gotta wait, then it has to be out of stock. So Zyler is coming back in January. It is January. Zyler's gonna likely be back by the end of January. So don't worry, Zyler's coming back. But yeah, unfortunately, my son, my only son, landed in the bottom 10. I will never forgive him. No, I'm just kidding. It's your fault. No, it's my fault because it wasn't in stock. It's everyone's fault. Yeah, I feel like Zyler is also really seasonal. Like, okay, if I'm just being real for a second, Zyler is a very fall shade. I can understand why people aren't reaching for this other times of the year, whereas other shades, like, you know, you could wear purple all year, like who cares? But this one is very much feels like pumpkin spice fall, so I get it. And it's glitter, which even though glitter is a favorite for a certain group of people, the average customer, glitter isn't on the top. Smoother formulas are, like cremes and linears. Interesting. We are hoping that Zyler will be back by the next release, but I'm not 100% sure. That's what I'm like pushing for because I would like it to be available at the same time, but I don't know yet. It's really like honestly a pigment thing that is kind of not in our control. Okay. Are we ready for the worst selling shade of 2022? Any guesses? Any guesses in the chat? You're not ready. It's gonna be okay. We've got each other, chat. Just look at Menchie. Look at Menchie licking the bed. The worst selling shade was Lemon Spritzer. No! Why, yellow? Why? You hate the sun, you hate the earth, you hate the water, you hate my child. You hate lemons? You hate vitamin C, I guess. You hate vitamins, okay. There's like one chatter who said, that's so pretty. It is pretty, I know, but you know what? No one wanted her by her lonesome. They only bought her in the pastel rainbow bundle, but no one cared to buy her on her own. They're like, I'm not picking you unless you come with the whole team, you know? You're not my favorite. Yeah. I am not surprised. Are you guys surprised at these? Here, we could do a... Here's a summary. Is it correct? Did I do it right? It's also no surprise that all of these were released some time ago, with the exception of this sad reality year for the payday, which was released this year. But everything else was released a long time ago. Oh, bye, Menchie. Thanks for coming, Mench. But do you see this? Like, look at this color story. Are we detecting any trends? Okay, look at this color story. I am not surprised at what we're seeing here. If you step back a second and you think, like, what are all the shades people aren't reaching for? People said, fuck green. They said, well, bright green. They said, fuck bright green, fuck blue, fuck bright yellow, orange, and like pale yellow. Fuck Xyler. Yeah. They didn't like the punchy colors in the like yellow, orange, green, blue spectrum. There's no purples here, no pinks, no reds. Isn't that interesting? So I will add a little bit of context. If bundles were to be included in this, here for the payday, okay, sorry, I wrote my notes weird. If we were to include bundles, just like for a little bit of context, here for the payday would be out of the bottom 10, but everything else would still be in the bottom. So here for the payday would be like, you know, picked up because it did sell in the bundle. But as an individual, there's no denying that like no one's buying it. But everything else would remain the same. So even if you did all the other methodologies we discussed at the beginning, methodology option 1, 2, or 3, whether it's a rate, a rolling sales, or just a raw number, even if you excluded new releases this year, just because like that's a little bit biased for new factor, all of these would be the same except here for the payday. Sad realities, you know, like... You love crazy greens. Me too. I love crazy colors, just generally speaking. But yeah, it's crazy greens, basically. You would still have lemon sucker, lemon spritzer in the bottom. But I know some of you are asking about frosted metals. We're going to talk about that soon. I will just say that there's frosted metals like right here. Literally like right here. They just missed it. But there's a few frosted metals right here if we were to expand the graph. But all of these, or a lot of these, would still very much be in the bottom, no matter what methodology you used. So now let's compare to last year using the same methodology of the bottom sellers by individuals. These are the ones that dropped out of the bottom 10 and moved up. Well, Cold Shoulder was the single shade that was discontinued last year. And we've got gift receipt that dropped out of the bottom 10 from this year, but I will say that it's not far. We've got 1 million followers, also not far. If I was to expand this to the bottom 20, you would see all of these. So, unfortunately, but you know, it is kind of nice to be like, oh, okay, they're not in the complete bottom anymore. Cheap champagne, not in the bottom 10 this year, but also not far. Flores Guava, same story. But then we've got some of these that are like kind of, we've got a lot of repetition of the same, and the color story is still very much the same with the exception of like these kind of pinkies, little pink shades. But the new addition to the bottom sellers is Xyler. I'm gonna say driven by its out of stock periods. And we've got Blue Ain't Slick that joined the bottom team. We've got Green Taffy, Full Charge, and Here for the Payday that decided to be on the worst players team. I'm gonna change the music because we're gonna do a little sub-study, okay? You ready for a sub-study? I'm so disappointed. Why are pink and red and purple so popular? They're so boring for nails. No hate. Yo, I don't think any colors are really like that boring. I think colors, like a color, what is, you know, traditionally defined as a color, is never boring for nails. But it's just personal preference, you know, and it's no surprise that drugstores sell the most of very like light pinks, medium pinks, burgundies, and those kinds of colors, because that is just what consumers generally purchase the most of. They gravitate less towards greens and blues. That doesn't mean that, for me at least, I'm like not gonna make greens, blues, or yellows. Like I will still keep making them, but it is definitely something to consider when you have a catalog full of some of these older shades that like aren't really moving anymore. It's not an argument to delete all greens or blues or yellows. It's not, right? Like we understand this, right? That's not what this is saying. This is just kind of a reflection of what shades are pretty old in the catalog and what shades aren't gonna sell that well as an individual for like kind of obvious reasons, you know, like no one's that surprised. We memed, we were sad as a meme, but like, okay, like these make sense. One thing I would love to do is a sub-study. Let's do a Frosted Metals sub-study because I know so many of you have been fighting for justice for Frosted Metals, so I would like to discuss that, okay? So if we were to look at sales in a percentile, meaning like if there's the 100th percentile means the top seller. For example, One Coat Black is in the 100th percentile of polishes that we sold in 2022 because it was the top seller. If we were to do that, and it's like, you know, on a scale from 0% to 100%, where do the Frosted Metals sit in our catalog? So that's what I'd like to do. We have Cold Shoulder, which was phased out last year. That's the blue one. And then we'd have Mint Money as the bottom selling Frosted Metal this year, it being in the 18th-ish percentile, which means that like if you were to rank all polishes and make it out of 100 as like a fraction, then it'd be like at the 18th. Does that make sense? Sorry, is the music still too loud? I'll turn it down. Should I repeat everything I just said? If the music was too loud. This is the Frosted Metal sub-study. So we're doing it by sales percentile from 0 to 100th. So the polish in the 100th percentile means that it sold the best. So like One Coat Black would be in our 100th percentile. So that's just what I would like to kind of look at the Frosted Metals by. It's a little bit easier because we're just looking at this particular category. So Cold Shoulder was phased out last year. And then we've got Mint Money, which would be in the 18th percentile. Which like isn't like is close to the bottom 10-ish. It's not exactly a 1-to-1 because bottom 10 is not bottom 10th percentile because we had 127 polishes ish, but like, you know, close enough. So yeah, Mint Money kind of low. Frozen Bananas also low. Frozen Bananas, I'm so sad. Why? Because to me, Frozen Bananas is like almost like a yellow gold, really pretty. It like, I know it's yellow, but I saw it more of like a bright gold, like yellow gold kind of interesting shade because it's a frosted metal, not just like a creme or a linear or something. I thought people would see it more for that, but yeah, it's unfortunately like not doing the best. Like it's even doing worse than some of our like already not good frosted metal sellers. And frozen bananas is supposed to be a seasonal polish, but we'd had it around like almost all year, and we're just kind of debating whether or not to like maybe just not restock it. So I think that could happen, but I have not made a decision on that one yet. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, the sales like this are important to tell us if it's something that people are interested in purchasing individually or not. And then we've got gift receipt, which also, yes, Morn, that's coming soon. We've got gift receipt, which was in the 25th-ish percentile, cheap champagne around the 40th percentile, fake date 43rd percentile, and then no surprise, the favorite sister was and is our current best-selling frosted metal in the 77th percentile. And again, this kind of just speaks to it being a really good seller on its own. I don't think it's just because it was a frosted metal, which haven't historically done the best. I think the color, the excitement, the story, the fact that it was Jen's polish, so it was a collab, I think all of that also has to do with it. But yeah, I'm proud to see that. It was only released in October of 2022, so it doesn't have that much time, but the fact that it's pretty high up is very comforting to me. I didn't include the limited edition ones because they're so subject to a cap, whereas these aren't. And if you're wondering how these frosted metals changed since last year, let's look at the data points. Okay, so this number represents how many percentile points that particular shade went up or down if you compare year over year 2022 versus 2021. So Mint Money was already in the 18th percentile, which is actually a decrease of 7 percentile points since 2021. So it has declined. Frozen Bananas has declined by 53 percentile points, which is not shocking because it was released last year. So obviously it has the new factor bias in terms of sales, and then it went down. That's not surprising. So I don't think that's like anything, shocking. Gift receipt went up a little bit, 12 percentile points, and we've got cheap champagne did increase 24 percentile points, but it's still like at the 40th percentile, so it's still not in the top half of best sellers of Holo Taco. It's still in the bottom half, is what I'm saying, but it has increased from last year. Maybe that's because it was in last year's bottom 10 and people like discovered it again. Maybe it's because I used it in like a New Year's mani last year, so that increased the sales for the beginning of the year. I don't know. There's like a few factors that can play in there, but I'm happy to see cheap champagne get a little bit of a boost because like, come on. Like it's like a rose gold coppery frosted metal. It's stunning. And then we've got fake date, saw a slight increase at 10 percentile points. Not that significant, I would say. And then favorite sisters new. Woo! That's a lot of nail polish. Holy shit. How's everyone doing? We need a little check-in first. I need a tea sip. Cheers. Actually, Ben, could I ask you for a favor? I could use a tea. I feel my voice is already like cracking. Guys, I've been talking too much. Shocker. Mint Money was out of stock for a little bit, yeah, so that's gonna bias it a little bit. I will say, even if you account for that, because I also did rolling sales, so for like just like past 30 days, or no, that wouldn't have been this factor, but I also did rate of sale for the periods that it was available, and it was consistently low. Like unfortunately all of the frosted metals except favorite sister just generally don't perform the best. Yeah, I think that's a product of people who are coming to the store who aren't really like enticed by the pictures, because it's really hard to see what the frosted metal can do unless you're in real life. Like pictures do not do them justice. I agree. My pictures are garbage. Yo, my pictures suck. I just like can't figure out how to take a picture of frosted metals to really show them in all their glory. I don't know. In all fairness though, it's a formula that is not conducive to being photographed. It just has this reflective element that kind of glows in normal life that you can't see unless you're in like real life. Even GIFs don't do it. I don't know what it is. It's not just like a video solution, because like all these exist in video and we've posted videos or reels with them as well. It's not just that. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like a real life thing. Those who have them are like, I know what you mean. All right, we are going to talk about discontinuations soon. Sorry, phasing out. We're not using the D word. Okay, we're talking about phasing out. Let me go over this though. Okay, we need a little debrief. That's a lot of fucking nail polish. Okay, and we just talked about top and bottom 10. Holo Taco has released 124 different nail polishes since 2009. 82% of which are regular stock or seasonal, meaning that we regularly restock them or they're seasonal, like a Christmas glitter that, we've decided comes back in stock during the season, or frozen bananas, which is seasonal, but like also we just kind of left it around. So the vast majority of our releases have been something that you could purchase all year round or when that season comes. I just like to include this to put things in perspective, because I do find that I'll see people say things like, all you do is release limited edition, or I hate limited edition. And I would just like to show you the data to remind people respectfully that the majority of what I have chosen to do is not that. While I still like to introduce limited edition collections because I think it allows us to do something special, something a little bit different, something that we don't have to worry about restocking, which can be very challenging when it comes to like pigments and yada, yada, yada. And you see that with things like Xyler, which isn't limited edition, but like we can't restock it because we're missing a pigment. Despite all that, I'm gonna do some limited edition collections where it makes sense to do it, but most of what we have done thus far has been regular stock or seasonal. So that's 82% ever since 2019. There's been one regular stock polish that has been phased out since we launched in 2019, 3.5 years ago, and that was Cold Shoulder. So what is probably kind of shocking to most people who are used to brands, like, you go into a drugstore and like some of their lipstick colors, like they're gone, they change them. Maybe they wipe them all every year. I don't know. But like no brand that I know of, I mean, like, okay, I'm not going to say no one, but like generally speaking, you're not going to see someone keep their entire catalog forever unless they're doing a disservice to their production that maybe you don't know about behind the scenes. So there's a lot of behind the scenes reasons why you can't keep everything in stock all the time. The primary one being like, okay, if we have to restock 124 nail polishes, that's really fucking annoying when we're trying to come out with new stuff, right? It's just like another thing. Okay, you got to put that on the line, and now you got to restock this polish that isn't selling well, but it's going to sell out, but we need to just make a few of them. And then you got to like take space, time, and effort away from the new stuff. So I've talked about this quite a lot on my stream. So people who are regular viewers here, you already know. You know the story, you know the background. I've tried to give as much context as I reasonably can that I hate, and I'm not even knowledgeable on all of it. I am not the manager of operations at the warehouse, okay? That's not my role, but I do like to try and get as much information as I can to understand the challenges, because, even when it's not your department, you want to try and just hear it from someone else that things are not as easy as they seem. And I guess that's what I'm trying to relay to you as well, is that we've been in business since 2019. That's almost like 4 years now. And all this time, we've only phased out one regular stock polish. I'm not counting limited editions. That's a different bucket. But that was Cold Shoulder, and that was last year. Yeah, that's it. Why? Best practices would have been to more routinely phase things out that aren't selling well, that are a little bit old, so that you can have a little bit more nimble flexibility when you're introducing new stuff, okay? It's the circle of life. Yes, Elaine, it's the circle of life when you get the nail polish. So, to make room for new things, sometimes you just gotta phase out some things. And I am just using this slide to remind you that I haven't done that at all for 3.5 years, and I really should have. And we finally reached that point in the brand life cycle where it's like, okay, we have to do that. Christine, stop. The warehouse, the lab said, Christine, stop. You need to be more selective. You got to figure it out. We need to keep things fresh. We need to keep things functional, practical, effective, efficient, and all of these things. So that's what we're doing here today. And it's okay to be a little bit sad for what's coming, but I want you to put your business hat on, to put your understanding hat on, to kind of listen to what I'm saying and use that as context to understand what I'm doing here. Over-explaining X 100. That's what I'm doing. Over-explaining times 100. I win. I win the prize for the biggest over-explainer. All right. Okay, I have another slide of over-explaining myself. Okay. I'm not trying to stress you out. Honestly, I'm trying to equip you with intelligent business information so that when someone on the internet asks you, like, why this doesn't make sense, you can be like, actually, I know why, because I listened to the whole lecture. Okay, yes. All right. Deciding what to phase out isn't simple. It takes into account multiple factors. What you see, all you have seen that I've presented here today, is just the bottom 10 sales report by individual sales using a single methodology. So you know, because I've told you that I've looked at what we've just shared today in multiple different methodologies. I've considered all sorts of context and other things, but all you have seen is one specific way to splice the data, and you've only really seen data because that's all we've talked about. Okay, you got it. So when you're like, why do you discontinue that? That doesn't correlate to what I saw on stream. I'm telling you that what you saw on stream was very limited, respectfully, in the whole scope of things. Because what you don't see is a lot more shit. There's even more data. There's bundle performance, that I didn't really discuss at length here, but that you can imagine that's going to affect maybe our decisions that are a little more qualitative in terms of assessing that. Also quantitative for bundle sales. There's different methodologies that I didn't go into detail about, like the worst sellers. There's more granular data. There's out of stock periods. There's the bottom 20. Like you just saw the bottom 10 using one methodology. If I were to expand that, there's a whole bunch of other shit in the bottom 20 that might consistently be in the bottom 20. Hi, my TA is here. Thank you, Ben. I need it.
Show them the money.
Okay, hold on. Oh shit. Yo, look at this. Just chill, bitches. Yo, thank you, Ben. Can I give you my other mug? We need a tea break before the next slide.
Really stalling, eh?
I'm not stalling. I'm explaining. Ben, I'm not stalling. Yo, I just want to make sure I say everything before people misinterpret me. Yo, my toxic trait is not wanting to be understood. Who can relate? Not wanting to be misunderstood. Wow. Yo, I'll say that again. My toxic I can't speak today. Wow. My toxic trait is not wanting to be misunderstood. Chill. Just chill, chat. I'm just a little bit stressed. It's fine. It's like good data stress though. Oh, also I'm wearing the top sellers, if you didn't notice. Okay, where were we? Let's resume. What you don't see is a lot, basically. You also don't see some of our restock challenges. So if there's like pigment inconsistencies, like Xyler's been a good public example, unfortunately, but you don't know like what else we might be kind of struggling with behind the scenes. Maybe there's availability difference with a very specific pigment. Maybe the cost has gone up and like we're not trying to raise the cost of like one nail polish bottle randomly either. Like that makes no sense. So there's all sorts of other little challenges behind the scenes that just like might complicate whether or not to bring some to keep restocking it, that we could factor into our decision in deciding what to phase out. There's also customer reviews and feedback, another data point that we didn't discuss at all, but that absolutely exists. So when we look at reviews of polishes, or we just kind of gather the feedback from people, maybe there's something in there that might kind of explain it's time to phase this one out. Yada, 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 all sorts of different things. There's also, this is an important one I want you to think about, okay? No, stop telling me. This is important, chat. You have no choice but to listen to me. It's important to understand that sometimes we may need to phase polishes out if they could be perceived as too similar to new upcoming shades in 2023 or just the future in general. So you don't know what we're releasing this year unless I've like sneaked it, which is like totally possible knowing me. But generally speaking, you don't know our release calendar for this year. So you don't know that something might be coming that like is kind of similar to something that we're deciding to phase out. And that's not because I'm trying to dupe my own products. Nothing I release will be the exact same as something I've released just with a new name. That's not what I mean. But like, you know, I have definitely learned my lesson that there are consumers who see like, that's purple, that's also purple, it's the same to me. So we do have to consider that when coming out with new collections so that those products don't cause confusion or they don't cannibalize each other. Meaning like if we launch a new shade of purple and like there's one that's like kind of similar, but like not the same, but just similar, people are like, and like maybe there's a reason why you want the new iteration of the shade because it just suits the vibe of something a little bit better than the old one did. There's all sorts of like, you know, slightly different tones, undertones, grayish versions, more brighter versions, yada, 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 that you can do with a particular shade. And then the last kind of global reason is branding decisions to keep things fresh and exciting, to have balance in the catalog. If we end up with just too many greens and yellows somehow, maybe it's time to just cut them. Like there's a lot of data, there's restock challenges, there's feedback, there's not cannibalizing new upcoming shades, but then there's also keeping things fresh, exciting, getting rid of some stuff that just feels old, the story is old, and just having a general good sense of balance, okay? I know y'all want me to cut to the chase, but listen, you need to understand, because the next slide is what we are phasing out respectfully in 2023. I would like to also acknowledge before I tell you that by simply stating that a polish is being phased out, I know that's gonna drive sales, which is very annoying. I know you're like, what? Because that's not what I'm trying to do, because literally the point of phasing them out is like, so we don't have to worry about them anymore in terms of production manufacturing. And so there's no good way to do this, is because I want to do the data, I want to provide explanations, but also by doing it, like you guys are listening to me and you're going to like go shop, which I would like to respectfully remind you to not go purchase products, not just these, but like anything in life that you don't actually want, okay? If you don't like the colors of the shades I'm saying were phased out, good. That would make sense to me. Respectfully, do not purchase if you don't really enjoy the shade, or even if you already have it and like you don't really need another one, okay? Respectfully, be chill. It's gonna be okay. No one's dying. Sometimes we just need to let things go. Can I click the next slide? Does everyone tell me you understand? All right, respectfully, business investors, these are the shades that Holo Taco will be phasing out this year. So by phasing out, I mean we are not restocking them when they sell out. So they are all currently in stock, as I say this, on the website. If and when they sell out, we will not be restocking them. All of these shades are at different inventory quantities right now. Some of these we might have a few months worth. Like, it's kind of hard to say because this may impact sales, so I don't really know yet. Some of them we don't have as much. It's hard for me to know until 24 hours later and I look at the numbers. But they're all different levels of inventory. So if you're watching this on VOD, you know, sometime later and some of these are gone, it's probably because those were lower inventory. And we weren't really in a position to like beef these all up, because also why, like, that defeats the purpose of phasing something out. So I'm not gonna like ask manufacturing to make like a whole bunch more of all of these, because it defeats the whole purpose of phasing them out. However, that being said, I did make sure that in making these decisions to phase these out, we had at least 3 times as much stock as we had of cold shoulder last year when I made a similar announcement. Okay, so there's at least 3 times as much stock, but I don't know. I really can't tell you how long these will last. But again, if you don't truly want the shade, don't buy it, okay? Yo, this is just me as simply telling you this. And just a reminder, I'm not mean. Oh my God, chat. I hope you're memeing, okay? I'm gonna say you're memeing. All right, do we need a little bit of explanation? Okay, just a little bit. All right, since I already gave you context that you could use deductive logic to infer which reasons meant which polish, but like, let's go over it. Blue ain't slick, not a good seller. Matcha Maker, also not a good seller, but wasn't in the bottom 10. But like, not a good seller. Not a good seller individually. And also people just really don't like green. Seafoam Home, also no longer a good seller. While it was a good seller in 2021 when it was released, it has kind of drastically dropped off. Another reason for Seafoam Home being phased out, as is Lavender. I know you're probably like, I don't understand. It was in the top. Let me explain. There are some shades in what you're seeing here that may be similar to stuff that we're releasing in 2023. In an effort to not have a confusing catalog that may potentially cannibalize shades, we are making the decision to phase some of them out. So that's the explanation for ones that you're like, I literally do not understand from a data perspective. It may be for reasons other than a data perspective. Yeah. So maybe, just maybe in 2023, it could be possible that we might release a light shade of purple, but it will not be exactly the same as lavender. But maybe there's a reason why the shade needs to be a little bit different to suit a new theme of something that may or may not be released in 2023. But like lavender wasn't it, you know, wasn't the right tone or whatever. Okay, so like, again, I'm not trying to tell you too much. But I also want to over-explain to give you some context, because I do understand that, you know, you want explanations, I want explanations. I just want to explain life 10 times over. Chameleon Coat, no one is shocked. You know, she's had her time to shine, and no, she's not shining anymore. No one is surprised. Royalty Blue hasn't shown up in any of the data that I've presented to you, but I think it's like one of those things that is a combination of data. Also, we've got some other blues that are just doing really well. Board Meeting and Shady Navy have done really well. Blue isn't really a best-selling polish, generally speaking, and it was kind of, for me, a way to let go of some of the OG shades that just aren't really killing it anymore. So the OG launch collection had Royalty Blue, one of our first cremes alongside One Coat Black, and I just think it's time, 3.5 years later, to say goodbye respectfully to, yes, I know, I love this shade of blue, but it isn't for everyone, and it's been around for so long that it's time to say, see y'all later, bye, you know? Then Banana Hacks and One Melon Followers, although you didn't see them show up in the data, they were not the best sellers. They were still in the like very bottom percentiles. And maybe they relate to one of the reasons I gave previously about potentially possibly releasing shades that maybe are like kind of similar but not the same, but you know, we need to make it its own kind of thing, and they need to be a very specific tone, and they need to line up and match in order to make the story work. Maybe. I just want to see something before we discuss. Don't worry, we're going to discuss, so stick around. You've got all the details, you know, if you're just here for the information and then see you later, bye. But we're going to have a discussion because I love discussion. Okay, it's not there yet, but it will be, so I'll... Okay. All right, what do you got? What are you feeling? Let's have therapy. What do you think? Yes, thank you, bud. So maybe some of you are surprised that there aren't as many yellows and greens and, you know, colors of the sun that we saw, because you guys hate nature, water, and the sun, apparently. I mean, I think that this is kind of overweighted. This is heavily weighted towards blues and greens, generally speaking. Like, we've got 5 here that are kind of in that range. But just because the data says, here's the bottom 10 individuals, doesn't mean that I'm just going to axe those exactly. Because while data is really important to help inform decisions, the key word is inform, not like make your decisions for you. Because there's a whole bunch of other reasons why you might want to save or discontinue or keep something. For now, a lot of the OG rainbows that are in the bottom, I'm deciding to hold on to them for now, because I do think that the OG rainbow linear bundle is like a really good story. It's a really good formula for new customers to explore and discover. But that being said, like maybe next year, this year, we are thinking about redoing some of the bundles to provide more inspiration, do a little more cross formula work here. We're thinking about that. We're working on that. So we are going to do a bit of a refresh to the bundle page, which may not be relevant for some of you here who are like avid Holo Taco shoppers who don't really necessarily need to be purchasing Holo Taco in bundles, you know, that are older shades, but it is kind of important for new customers or people who want to discover the brand just to get new ideas, or like you could even get new ideas. So we're working on that for, you know, the first half of the year, kind of rethinking, offering some new bundles. And I am kind of considering, like, is there another way to do a rainbow? Like, I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how that works out before I make any harsh decisions to eliminate some of the OG rainbow linears. But that's why I decided to save them for now. Let them discover more formulas. Exactly. I apologize if I miss like a bunch of super chats. Here, maybe I'll read a few of these. Honestly, this all makes sense. I only really enjoy... Oops. Sorry. I only really enjoy 3 of these babies being phased out, so thanks for the data. Thank you for that, Dollhouse. Umaji, I'm sure this wasn't easy for you, but congratulations. This indicates growth and more exciting things ahead. Exactly, and that's how I'm looking at it too. You know, we're removing 8. We've released over 120 nail polishes, and I'm excited for you to be excited about what's coming soon. How are you? Hopefully you aren't feeling too much stress. Yo, I'm good. I think I'm only stressed about my mistake. That's it. Mia Maples just reviewed. Is that Matchmaker? And said it's her favorite ever. Oh no, I'm sad but excited to see what's next. Matchmaker Lover for Life. Yeah. Normalize things not being restocked without giving a 3-hour speech. Bad! Yo, I like my 3-hour speeches, okay? Like, I'm sorry if you don't like them. I understand people have lives, but like, this is my life, okay? So, really excited to see what's to come in 2023. I can't wait to see what Holo Taco grows as well. Yeah, for sure. Oh, here, we're on the question period. Definitely sad to see a few of these go, but excited for everything that's to come. Thank you for sharing. Of course, and I'm oversharing here. That's what we're doing. Here, I'll switch to this screen. We appreciate the explanations. It's interesting. Thank you. I hope so. That's kind of the point of this. I think all this stuff is really fascinating. And I think that I really do appreciate brands giving you context. And while that is extremely rare for good reasons, because generally brands don't tell you why they discontinue things. They don't even tell you when they're going to discontinue things. They just do it. And then they just bring shit back randomly and then say it's like new again or whatever. I understand that that's the norm. I like to do things differently. I also can't help myself because I really truly do like to provide people with information so that they understand my decision making. That's just like my personality. I also really like data and sharing it and talking about it. So using the data to provide you guys with good content is kind of fun and interesting. And then you get to share in the knowledge about all of these decisions as well. And because a lot of you are customers of Holo Taco, I really feel like it's important for me as the owner of the brand to share with my customers a lot of this information because they care so much about the brand. So that's kind of my perspective. I'm not saying brands, like all brands need to do this. Like, I get it. Like, because when you tell people something, if you try and go back and change something, you're kind of fucked. So that's why it is generally not advised to tell people all these things, because it may bar you from making certain decisions, or whatever. Do you find your openness a cursed blessing? Like when chat is kind of unreasonable with what they want. You just hit the nail on the table. Yes, I think that happens sometimes. I've already seen it in this chat, but like maybe people were memeing. It's hard to say. By being so open and transparent and providing you guys with so much information, there are some people who take that and then think that they are now expert on things and then will use it against me to get upset at something or say she said this and then did this, or she's doing this, it's just marketing and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know, man. Okay, well, like the answer would be to do nothing. The answer would be to do what every other brand does, which is share exactly zero and tell you nothing, and then just go ahead and do whatever I want and not provide you with any rationale and just make you suffer in silence, basically. But I don't want to do that. I like talking with you. I like the instant feedback. I like hearing from you guys, even if some of it is unsolicited advice and opinions, I just ignore those ones. I have to learn how to ignore the unreasonable requests. And I hope that I've given enough information at this point over and over in different streams, different forms with my shorts or highlights, things that I post on TikTok. I am really trying to make things that I've shared kind of get out there more so people are aware of things I've said randomly. I hope that with that kind of information flowing out in different forms, people do generally get an idea of like, I'm coming from a place of trying to be transparent and share with you and give you as much information as I reasonably can within reason. And then my expectation from doing that is that reasonable people will have reasonable responses, and only the unreasonable group of people will be the unreasonable people who are like screaming at me for discontinuing something that they didn't listen to why, or they didn't hear me. Oh, do we get gifted? Thank you, Sarah, for the 10 gifted memberships. Menchie gang. We absolutely appreciate that. People being upset isn't on you. Please don't let it bring you down. Like others have said, you're running a business. I'm not down. Please don't confuse that. Like I'm good. I've been doing this a long time. How many years have I been on YouTube? Since 2014. That's a long ass time. I totally understand. There's always going to be a group of people that misunderstand you. While it's really frustrating, I'm just doing the best I can, and I know it doesn't get me down. The only one thing that I will admit bothers me is when people either deliberately or not misinterpret me or twist what I'm saying and then share it with other people, and then those people take that as some kind of factual truth as something that I said, when it's like, no, I didn't say that, or that's not what I meant, or you're missing context. That's my biggest pet peeve about the internet. But let's not go there for now. But don't worry, I'm okay. With every closed door, a new one opens. So excited for next launch. That's exactly how I feel about Holo Taco 2023. We have so many good things coming out in 2023. The next launch is this month. And it's like a range we've never done before. So I'm very excited to kind of wipe the slate, do something a bit different, something people have been asking for, but also trying to do something new and exciting. And we've got a lot of fun things going on. We've got more cremes. We've got more cremes. People love cremes, okay? And wait, I can't tell you everything. Stop it. Stop it. Yo, I didn't mean to end the stream just telling you what we're doing. Okay, but I'm excited for the rest of the year. As I said in the Q&A that was only filmed like not that long ago, I have mood boards planned up until like my birthday. I'm still working on my birthday, October launch, figure out what that's gonna look like. But every collection before then already has a mood board, and prototyping polishes has already started or is like done, depending on, you know, if it's earlier in the year or not. Thank you guys. NDAs in the chat. Yeah. Yo, do you think Sally stayed this long? Or is she gone? Sally! Okay, someone asked about a bundle for the top and bottom. We are making a bundle. I don't think it's on the website yet. I think it's gonna be posted in like 15 minutes. Yeah, but there is going to be a bundle with the 5 of the top. It's not like the exact top 5, but like, you know, a curated top 5 and a curated bottom 5. Yo, again, who would do this? Literally no other brand will not say, no other brand will make a bundle of we're selling shades except me. I will make that. So there will be a bundle of the most slept on shades of 2022. It should be up, I think, in like 15 minutes. We scheduled some stuff for 2 p.m. Because I wasn't sure when my timing would work out. I was like, I think by 2 p.m. I'll have gotten through 3 hours worth of explanation. What's a mood board? Oh, a mood board is like just something I'll make on Photoshop that's basically like what colors and kind of aesthetically the inspiration behind a collection in terms of colors, and then I'll have some formula reference points. Approximate new releases. Guys, coming in here getting information. Did I not give you enough information? Goddamn. I don't know. In January at some point. Can you show us your mood boards? So some of them I could, but others I don't know if I should, because sometimes you really move from the initial concept to something later. Some things look good in my mind and on Photoshop and look very different in nail polish. So you're here for the payday. You and no one else, Laura. Also, sometimes with mood boards, like if it didn't work out, I'm kind of saving it for something else. We should remember the quote, "A thing isn't beautiful because it lasts." Always excited to see what you and Holo Taco come up with. Thank you, Lisa. That's a wonderful quote. I love that. Love to see what's next. Simply can't wait. Has there ever been a moment when there was free shipping? Though I wish we could do free shipping, but unfortunately, shipping and freight costs have gone up like 1,000,000 times. So that's kind of impossible in this day and age. Here for the payday, I decided not to phase it out for now because it was a good seller in the bundle. But Matcha Maker had been around for longer. Same with Seafoam Home. So see, there's also some like recency, sometimes that maybe I consider, okay, well, let's not cut that right now. But like, just being honest, maybe it's next year. I don't know yet. Like, I don't know. It depends. The reception of everything re-released this year. It depends on if there's anything similar. Member stream of mood boards. Yeah. And it's not just about sales data. I also think it's really important that we want to make sure we have a good balanced catalog. We want to make sure that we have, generally speaking, all of the main shades. We don't want to just end up with pink and purple polishes on our website, although we know that those are the favorites, and that's why a lot of collections will tend to have a purple or a pink shade in them, because we know that people want those the most and they do sell well. That doesn't mean we're never going to release green, or we're going to cut all the greens and the yellows. Like, we're not going to do that. So we want to make sure that there's balance and availability. Holo Taco isn't the brand of like only sell the most traditional best-selling colors of pink and purple. Like, no. That's just this stream room and my hoodie. Okay. We got to make sure that the catalog is still balanced and has greens available, even though we know less people are buying them. Let's be real, there's literally one pink creme. That's another good point. So yeah, I went into this brand not wanting to copy paste the drugstore, because that's why the drugstore exists. You could just go there. But we only have What Do You Pink as a light pink creme for now. But like, we don't have that much light pink. I guess like there's Menchie the cat, the Holo Glitter. There's Pink Fizz, the pastel linear. Other than that, everything's pretty bright. I guess Fake Date's like kind of on the pink side, but it's a frosted metal, so it's very shiny. I'm just looking at my rack over here. And then there's like Hot Wire pink and Magenta Jelly's kind of pink, and like Party Punch. Those are like very punchy. Coral Chaser, yeah, I guess that's kind of pink. It's a little more like reddish orange. But yeah, we have more bright, exciting, like in your face pinks than baby pinks. Oh yeah, you guys voted on the shade name. So Holo Swatchers and Holo Royalty already saw a sneak peek preview of something that is pink that's coming out this year. What year is it? Ah. Another thing we're doing this year, I think I've talked about this before. So yeah, we still have collection boxes for the majority. Is that the majority? I don't know. For most big releases. But there's like one less collection box if you compare to this past year. There's one less collection box. So we're going to have a slightly different, like not drastically. I don't think it's not drastic, but it might explain if you're like, oh, I thought this would have been in a box. Why no box? There's like just a small number of collections that won't be in a box, just because we're being a little more cognizant of not overdoing it with big boxes. You know, just thinking about people collecting the number of boxes, but at the same time, like, I have a very hard time. I'm like, wait, no, this collection is so good. The concept, it needs a box, you know? So like, it was hard for me to be like, fuck, like which ones aren't a box, you know? So there's just like one less box, technically. Something like that. You got bingos? Who's doing bingo? Was there bingo in Discord? Really? I want to play bingo. Is it in Discord? Let's see. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm grabbing it. Someone made a bingo card. Let's play. Okay, shout out to the Simply React or Holo Taco Detectives channel in my Discord. Here, I'll give you guys this link. Let's play bingo. Yeah, bitch. We do this during launch streams sometimes. We are going to restock the nail polish stand. It's just a product of delays in manufacturing and the world events, you know. So just hit the notify me button on that. It'll be coming back at some point this year. All right. Let's play bingo. So I put it in the chat. I'll do it one more time. This was created by someone in the Simply Analogical Discord. So shouts out to them. And people will make these whenever we do launch streams. So why not make it for the data stream for all the data nerds? Okay, let's play. For the love of graphs, Holo Taco 2022 data stream bingo. I had no input on this, by the way. At least one creme is discontinued. Yes. Menchie licks her bed. Yes. Yo, more than one yellow is in the lowest sellers. Yes. We've got lemon sucker and lemon spritzer. Chat has a lowest selling polish on their nails. Well, how are we supposed to verify that? Chat, are you guys wearing something in one of the lower sellers? Yo, I saw people on Instagram make like a collab about it. You do? Please confirm. Please confirm in chat if that's you. I must verify. Yes? Okay. Simply said she's revealed too much. Bingo! Oh my god! Like, yo, what do I win if I fill the whole fucking sheet? Okay, this is too easy. Damn it. Okay. Something sells out. I don't think so. I mean, I have not looked. That was not the purpose of this. I hope not. Not my goal. I don't. Maybe Ben can confirm. Ben, nothing's gone, right? Like we still have all the ones. Okay, good. Fucking thank God. Oh my worst nightmare ever. Do not let me relive. So Holo Taco Official will be Holo Taco Official. What is this? Sounds like a fake website to me. Holo Taco socials and an email will be sent out in about 10 minutes. I was trying to line it up with this, like as close as possible. Just listening to feedback from last year that people wanted to be notified through like official means. For those who don't watch my stream, I know that's not you because you're literally here, and I really do appreciate everyone coming and joining me for this, over explanation. I love chatting with you guys and hearing immediate feedback, but for those people who don't have time for streams or aren't interested in streams, they still want to know the key findings, the key highlights. So Holo Taco will be sending out an email shortly, as well as posting on our stories and social media about the polishes that are being phased out. So that'll fire off in about 10 minutes. So I guess you got it early. I didn't know how long I would take though. And we should have a bundle of the top and bottom sellers just for fun. Just for fun. Like, especially the bottom ones. Like, who would do that? Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for all your transparency, all of the interesting data, and continuing to release the slept-on colors. Of course we will. Okay. Something sells out on stream. No. Simply loves browns. Did I say that? Forget the data. Oh, I didn't say it. The browns didn't show up in the data. But if I had to say, like, okay, if we were to look at every collection individually, like magnetics, dark rainbow, the Christmas glitters, or anything that has a brown in it, it's very common for the brown to be like the worst seller. Like definitely Fairy Tale was the worst for the magnetics. Choco Holo actually wasn't the worst. I think Gold Play Button was the worst. Yeah. But it's always the yellows or the browns, if they're included in the collection, that do the worst, but they just didn't end up on the bottom sellers. But that might be because there isn't really browns that are sold individually in our catalog, right? Because Choco Holo would have been excluded from this data because it's seasonal. Magical Mustache by Julian was limited, so it kind of had a cap anyways, but it was the lowest seller of his collection. So there wasn't really any eligible browns to be in the bottom. I guess Burnt Bridges could have landed there, or Amber Apathy, which is not really brown, but it's yellow. But they still sold better than polishes released a year or two ago. So that kind of makes sense to me. Simply explains data science in depth. Was that enough? Yo, anyone watching on VOD, yo, thank you. Shout out to the mods who help me with the timestamps, because everyone watching on VOD definitely appreciates you, because people will be able to like see how long I took on the methodology explanation to finally get to like the top 10. Thank you, mods, for helping us with the timestamps. Zyler did not make an appearance, only his polish. Wait, what does this mean? Was this the cat or the polish? I think you mean real Zyler, right? I'm gonna assume that's real Zyler. Zoom in on a lowest seller to ask chat why. Did I zoom in? Not really. But I did scream why a few times. Okay. Sally is watching. Yo, Sally is always watching. Sally wants to know everything here. Stream tops 3 hours. It will in like 3 minutes. Holo free space simply warns us to behave and don't panic buy. Yes, I am your mother. Respectfully. More than one blue in the lowest sellers? I think so. Yes, right? Hold on. Let me go back. Yes, there is. Blue Ain't Slick and Blue Freezy. Poll of Holo royalty in the chat. We did not do that. Should we do it now since there's a lot of you? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so we've done this before, but there is still like almost 4,000 of you. Shout out to 4,000 of you coming to class and staying in class. Appreciate you staying to the end of the lecture. Okay, what are you? So I'm referring to Holo Taco's loyalty program, which is a program where it counts all your purchases and then you get redemption points you get points that you can redeem for a changing carousel of products. We just changed it, by the way. We just swapped it out. Holo Explorer or none, meaning like you never signed up for an account or you've never shopped at Holo Taco, which is fine. I just like to it's always interesting to know who's here. So Holo Royalty is our top tier, and proportionally speaking, it's like a small proportion of all Holo Taco customers that are in Holo Royalty. But when I'm talking on stream and whenever I do kind of a roll call of who's in what, I find that Holo Royalty dominates or is like disproportionately present in Holo Taco related streams, which makes a lot of sense because this content interests you. But it also explains that the people in this chat are generally, they represent people who are avid Holo Taco shoppers and not the average Holo Taco customer or like passerby or new customer or whatever. So like keeping that in mind is always important. I realize who I'm speaking to, and this audience like should maybe kind of realize who it is. It is different than the average person coming to the store and being like, what do I want? What the fuck is this? You know, what's a taco? I will update the Menchie gang later in the Menchie gang forum. Royalty Squad, what up? You can redeem brushes now. Yes, so took your feedback and we have just added the thick and skinny brushes as a redemption item. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep those there forever because it actually is quite costly from a labor perspective to like get those brushes put into caps. I am told. So yeah, but I really wanted to push for them to have them for at least one round. So yeah, if you have too many points and you want to redeem for brush replacements, if you want to pick a different brush style, then those are now in the redemption options. All right, let's see, what did I tell you? Okay, thank you for voting. Almost 2,000 of you voted. 69% of you are Holo Royalty, right? Yeah. 10% Holo Swatcher, 6% Holo Explorer, and 14% are none. I'm gonna I'm gonna guess that 14% of you are just data nerds and you're like, I don't paint my nails. Which we appreciate. Shout out to you guys. You know, you're here for the data. That's cool. I love it too. I'd probably like join a stream that was about something I didn't care about if they had data. But yeah, you see here that in this audience, it's disproportionately people who are very interested and invested in Holo Taco. But if we look at our global customer base, the majority of people who shop at Holo Taco are not Holo Royalty. It is like a small group relative to everyone who's ever purchased a polish. 14% are competitor spies. No. Maybe like 1%. Yo, I should have said 1%. You're a spy. Yeah. The bundles are up. Woo! Okay, look, you, what's up? So, you're welcome. Look at this. We've got a best-selling bundle, and we've got a slept-on shades bundle. So you can now shop some of the worst selling shades at Holo Taco in 2022. You know you want to. What the fuck? Okay, let's take a look. Best selling bundle. Damn, this I took this picture 2 days ago. Okay, that's how quickly I and the team turned it around. Shouts out to the team for getting this up. I was like, wait, we need bundles. It'd be so funny, but also like good, you know? It looks good. I have to sing this for you. Ready? Simply the best, better than all the rest. The data has spoken, and these were 5 of the best-selling individual shades in 2022. Find out what the hype is all about with this bundle of bestsellers. We look forward to your extremely popular manis. Includes One Coat Black, Not Milky White, Everything Taco, Party One Purple, and Got Cake. So I also used a little bit of aesthetic, intelligence here to try and pick like which 5 look good together. So that's kind of my curated picks, but they're all very much like basically the top 5. So you can go ahead if you're interested, or maybe this isn't for you, okay? This isn't for people in Holo Royalty. This is for the 14%. Or for people who want to tell their friend, shop at Holo Taco, and they're like, I don't know what to buy. Well, best-selling bundles up now. We probably won't have this up like forever, I imagine, because this will change over time. We'll probably take it down, maybe update it, but I'm excited to offer this now. I have purchased every Holo Taco item, some more than once, but I am not royalty because it was not oh, just email customer service. Just email customer service. They might be able to help you out with that. So the Slept On Shades bundle. Yo. Hold on, I want to put the funny music on. Because it's funny to me. Oops. We have a bundle, the Slept On Shades bundle. It's the polishes that sold the least well, instead of saying the word worst. The data doesn't lie. Some of you were sleeping on these shades, and it shows. Explore what others are missing with this bundle of Slept On Shades of 2022, featuring 5 criminally underrated polishes. We're giving them the attention they deserve and rooting for these underdogs. You get Blue Freezy, Chameleon Coat, Here for the Payday, Lemon Sucker, and Orange Drink. I gotta do something to showcase, to feature these polishes. It's a criminal offense to not appreciate them. Especially, look, they look good together. What the fuck? These are for the people that hate the forest and the water and the earth and the sunshine. You can make your own mani. They look good together. I know I kicked out Xyler Xyler wasn't available, so I couldn't put him in a bundle. But I realized I kicked out Lemon Spritzer. But these 5 were just like the best curated version of them. Okay, we can change the sad music now. Very 70s? Okay, yes. 70s. The Captain Planet? All right. Yeah, you can grab those bundles at a discount next time you're shopping. I was trying to think, honestly. I was like, is there another website or brand that has a bundle or like is basically promoting their worst sellers? I couldn't think of one. If anyone knows of one, please tell me, because I'm actually really curious to see if anyone else has done that. Like, tell me after stream in the comments or something so I can find it. They're called mystery boxes? Ben, no! Okay, but that's not fair. That's not what I mean. Yo, okay, but I'm literally telling you, you are getting our worst sellers. It's no mystery. That's what they are. I'm not lying to you. They call it the clearance rack. Yeah, I guess. See, but that's they put their marketing hat on and they were just like, how do we get rid of these and not tell people that people don't want them? And I'm just over here like, I think it's funny to tell people that no one wants to buy these. Let's put them in a bundle. Tide Pod? They look like the Tide Pod bundles, you're right. No, it's 68 to 63. Someone said it was no, it's 68. That's an 8. It just has a strike through. Okay, I didn't finish bingo. Fuck, you distracted me. Okay, poll of Hollow Royalty in the chat just did that. Justice for Frosted Metals. I mean, I made a whole slide about Frosted Metals, so I feel like that counts. NDAs in the chats. That's every stream. Oh, we did not discuss that Midnight Spark is orange or purple. Shocker. Where is that in the data? I feel like, okay, Midnight Spark and some of the other glitters like Frostlight, Rainbow Snow, they had lots of periods of out of stock because of the glitters, because it's my fault for picking very specific glitters. Yes, that's my fault. But they still didn't land in the bottom, unlike Xyler, because people still like those colors, and they really like a good dark purple indigo glitter with Midnight Spark. Party of One Purple is the top seller. Does that mean like the top? Because that's a no, but it was in the top 10. Sophia in the chat? I don't think so, right? Did I miss her? I don't think so. Sophia, she did not come to class. Xyler was out of stock for his season. Exactly, Sammy. Yes, not only was he out of stock for 4 months in the year, it was like literally his season. Do you have a suggestion box? We do on the Simply Discord. There's a Holo Taco ideas channel where people just throw their ideas in there. So you can go ahead and share that in our Discord. It's the Simply Discord, but a top seller, not the top seller. It says the top seller though. Sophia's doing her homework. Yeah, she's busy. She'll have to watch on VOD. Okay, favorite sister is a top seller? No, not according to the methodology that I used, but it was in my top sellers assessment where I like used more mixed methods to kind of come up with it. But I'll still say no because it wasn't in the official list. January launch hints. I mean, I said there was a launch in January. Bingo! We have 3 bingos. Susan! Shout out to the mods, of course. Okay, so I got 3 bingos. What do I win? What do I win? So if some people are coming in saying they're shocked by what's being retired, I guess you missed the 3 hours of explanations. Yo, I know. I'm gonna have one of my editors help with cutting this down into a highlight stream, but that's still gonna miss some of the context because it's impossible to put it into 3 hours or put 3 hours into 20 minutes. And I will probably make some shorts about this. That again. So if you see someone in the future in the comment section being like, I don't understand, or this makes no sense, you know, because they're only getting this much information out of this much, and you were like, well, I have this much information, then you can be like, actually, here. Actually, here's why. It's a garbage bowl full of my faves, yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by the discontinued shades, to be honest. Surprised? Pleasantly surprised. Does that mean like you're happy? Did Holo Taco post? Probably. Hold on. I'm like, did I post? Not yet. It would have posted on Shorts though, because I scheduled that one. But there is, oh yeah, it's on Facebook. Yeah, it's on Facebook, and I'm already seeing comments of people being like, I don't understand, I love them. Yeah, I mean, I totally get it. The email and the text went out. Okay, so there's been an email that was sent out, and we sent out a text to our Holo Taco SMS list. The Facebook reel is up. Instagram, not yet, but it should be shortly. So people have been notified, already reading the comments and seeing people say, I don't understand, which, like, I get it. Not everyone can hang out with me on stream and hear the reasons. I wish, like, my dream is to be able to, like, give people information like this. Like, here, this is why, you know? It just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You should spend the rest of the day offline. What the fuck is this? What shitty suggestion is that? That's the shittiest shit I've ever heard. No. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day offline. You know how in Life is Strange, for those of you watching me play games on Wednesdays, Life is Strange girl has powers, okay? The last girl could, like, feel people's emotions and, like, act accordingly. The current girl can rewind time. My special power is I want to give people all the information that I have in my brain immediately, because so many people don't have attention spans, or they don't care, or they don't make an effort to listen, or they're unavailable for, like, legitimate reasons. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but just a lot of people, like, don't have the time or can't make the time to hear things, and then you're like, fuck, I just want you to listen to me, so I need to be like, psh, psh, psh. That's gonna be my special power. So we didn't want to make a bundle of the discontinued shades or the phased out shades because the second one of them was gone, the bundle would be unavailable. So that's not really helpful. So instead we just made like the bottom sellers, and Chameleon Coat is the only one of those 5 that is currently being phased out. But I looked at the quantities, did an assessment, and also considering that, like, people probably aren't gonna buy this bundle that much. Probably won't be, like, you know, like on people's top list of what to buy. I was like, okay, I think we're safe to make that a bundle. But when Chameleon Coat sells out, yes, we'll be removing that bundle. Share the data with MindLink? What the fuck is that? I'm scared. Is Ben streaming later? I don't know. Ben, are we streaming? Ben just said I'm not allowed to be online, so I don't know. Okay. All right. I should let you guys go. It has been 3 hours. We have done a lot of explaining. I have done a lot of explaining. I really appreciate everyone for hanging out with me. Do we want to? I would play tonight. I'd play tonight because we got to film the podcast tomorrow. So I'd rather film tonight or stream with Ben. We're playing The Last of Us on Ben's stream, and I'm just reacting to it, or I'm kind of half playing, half reacting. I never watched it before, so. But yeah, I had fun. I had a good time at 7 p.m. or 6:30. 7 p.m. Okay, 7 p.m. on Nintendo. We're playing episode 2 of The Last of Us. If you're interested in watching me react to a gory graphic game and scream. But as far as this stream goes, I really do appreciate everyone hanging out with me live on stream. It makes this stream so much better and so much more fun and engaging to have you guys literally right here to talk to. And also people watching on VOD, I appreciate that, you know, I just hung out with you for 3 hours, or you hung out with me while you did your work or whatever. And appreciate everyone's thoughtful understanding on everything that was shared today. And for the future of Holo Taco 2023. To the future! There are big things coming. There's great things coming. I'm so excited. And it's about time that we just clean things up a little bit, you know, move forward. And I'm excited to do that with a bit of a clean slate. All right, everybody. Shout out to the mods. Also, big thank you to Shopify for sponsoring the stream. Thank you to all the Menchie Gang gifted members and the gifters and those who chose to become a member. We are going to have our exclusive Menchie Gang stream in January. I still have to set the date. I usually pick a Sunday, though, Sunday midday Eastern. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Why do I keep... I'm so annoyed. This like went in and out of focus the whole time. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here for the data. You've done good. You all get an A. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.